A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Girls from Earth by Frank M. Robinson.
Mike McDonald is the name. Firm of Beagle and McDonald, Interplanetary Promotions, number 1 Park Avenue, New York. Drop in sometime. Brand new offices. Had them decorated by one of the biggest guys in the business. You know, it's hard to believe that only 6 months ago, me and Charlie Beagle, my associate, were stranded in a one-tank mining town on Mars. Let me tell you about it.
Here comes the waiter.
Play it cool.
Yeah, but we got no dough.
Play it cool, I said.
Gentlemen,
I'll have the sirloin.
one sirloin. Earth or Martian?
Well, what's the difference?
Well, the Earth sirloin's from genuine steers, $24 a pound. The Martian sirloin's from a domestic sloofer, $2.
Charlie, you ever tasted Sloofer? We'll have the domestic.
Very good. A beverage?
Johnny Coffee?
Well, he ran out of coffee in 1997. Haven't been able to get any. Try the muggle juice.
Muggle juice?
It's a Martian vegetable. Has a pleasant narcotic effect.
You better make it whiskey. Whiskey?
That we got.
Fine. My friend will have the same.
Yes, sir.
Mike, would you mind telling me how we're going to pay for this sloofer steak?
Relax. I'm thinking.
And even more important, how are we going to get out of this berg?
Charlie, what we need is a mark.
A mark?
A sucker. And if I'm not mistaken, this little guy with the glasses coming in now is just what we're looking for. Pardon me, sir. My friend and I are just in from Earth, and we don't know much about the customs here. I wonder if you'd be good enough to let us buy you dinner and tell us something about the town.
Why, that's very kind of you. You needn't buy me dinner, though. After all, you're the guests here.
Well, that's very nice of you. Do join us.
Thank you. My name is Henry Mortensen. I'm geologist for the Interplanetary Mining Company.
Mike McDonald and my friend Charlie Beagle.
How do you do?
Oh, pleasure.
You say you're just in from Earth?
Yes, that's right. Charlie and I are interested in uranium. Just sort of snooping around to see if there's a decent investment up here.
Oh, I see.
You'll forgive me. It's not much of a town, really.
No, I don't suppose it is. After all, you take 20,000 men and plunk them down in the desert like this, and you can't expect much.
20,000 men.
No tomatoes?
Sir?
Tomatoes. Girls.
Girls. Oh, I'd almost forgotten what the word meant. No, you see, the Colonization Board hasn't been very successful in persuading Earth women to migrate here. There are a few female Saturnians, the four-armed variety, but aside from that...
Well, what do the boys do for relaxation?
Well, being a geologist, I'm naturally interested in rock formations.
For relaxation?
A great many of the men indulge in gambling, and of course there are limp phrases every glib day.
Glib day?
We have a 9-day week here on Mars.
Oh.
Tell me, Mr. Mortensen.
Henry.
Tell me, Henry, don't the boys get lonesome for the sight of a woman?
Well, it is a problem. The men sign up for 9-year hitches. Most of them have forgotten what a woman looks like.
Mm-hmm. Do most of these men plan to stay here?
I suppose if they had families, they might. The pay is good, and I suspect most of them had their reasons for leaving Earth.
I see. Well, how about yourself? Suppose you found the right woman. Which in this case would be just about any woman.
Oh, I'm very particular.
Oh, I mean any woman who met your rigid specifications. Would you stay?
You mean get married?
Yeah, that's the bit.
Well, of course, it's out of the question. No woman has ever showed the slightest interest in me.
Well, suppose one agreed to marry you in advance, and she met all your specifications.
Well, I've always wanted a family. Yes, I suppose I'd marry.
That's very admirable. Very, very admirable.
Here's the waiter with our dinner.
Slooper steak, gentlemen. Good luck with it.
Henry picked up the tab, and we got a rough idea how much cash these guys on Mars pack around with them. Enough to choke a galactic telescope is about all. We thanked the little guy and sat around until he left. Then I went to work.
Okay, what do we do now?
Charlie, we get to work.
What work? Oh, card game, maybe?
Listen, these guys have been playing cards for 15 years now. We wouldn't have a prayer. I got an idea.
So give.
You still got that Earth magazine, the one with the Hollywood starlet on the cover?
Yeah, in my suitcase.
Good, I want it.
What for?
To make our poster advertisement, that's what's for.
Poster?
Look, Charlie, just picture this. A big poster with that starlet on it, twice as big as life. And underneath, this slogan, I'm coming from Earth to you.
Huh?
Then down in the corner, just this little notice. Applications will be accepted at Beagle and McDonald Agency.
Well, it's great. But what is it?
What is it? Just the most colossal promotion scheme ever devised by man, that's all.
But what are you promoting?
The easiest thing in the world to promote. And the hardest. Marriage.
Marriage?
Look at it this way, Charlie boy. Here on Mars, we have 20,000 strong Earthmen with but a single thought.
Dames.
Exactly. And on Earth, we have 20 million single dames with but a thought.
Husbands.
So?
Oh, how you going to do it?
All right, now we get this poster made. We put it up. We take applications. $100 a head plus the cost of transportation. We get the $100.
Then we leave.
But first we deliver the girl.
Oh, it's a natural.
A natural. Charlie, it's colossal. What's 20,000 times 100?
$2 million.
Wow, that's our profit.
Wait a minute.
What?
How are we going to line up 20,000 girls and convince them to come up to this desert?
I'm working on that. Come on, we got to find a printer to make our poster.
What do we use for dough?
You huck your watch. Come on, let's go. We got the poster made, and it is a beaut. The artist threw in some extra fullness in the lips and stuck a glass of champagne in one hand. The next step was to rent a little field tent right outside the mining camp. We stuck the poster in front of it and waited for the guys to get through work.
Hey, Tom. Hey, dig this. What do you say we sign up?
What for?
Well, whatever they're selling inside.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, come on. What have we got to lose?
You gentlemen interested in matrimony?
Marriage?
That's what we're selling, boys. To her? Or anybody your heart desires. Just step inside, fill out the specification chart, pay your fee, and we deliver.
On the level?
On the level.
Well, what do you say, Tom?
It's worth a gamble.
Right this way, gentlemen. Mr. Beagle will take care of you.
No sooner said than done, gentlemen. Step right this way and live.
At the end of the first day, we had deposits amounting to about $15,000. By the third day, we had to beat them off with clubs. Everybody had a dream girl, and we were guaranteeing delivery.
40,000, 50,000, 60,000 bucks. Oh, Mike, what do you say we skip out on the first base free?
What are you, nuts? There's another million coming here, and my name isn't Mike McDonald.
Oh, yeah, incidentally.
Yeah.
Have you figured out a way to deliver on this swindle?
Naturally.
You have?
Of course.
Oh.
We just go down to Earth and put up a different poster. Guaranteed husbands. Every one of them an Adonis.
What happens when they arrive? We get lynched?
Look, while these ladies are en route to Mars, you and me are en route to Earth. Get it?
Yeah.
I radio-phoned a friend of mine down on Earth and had him place an ad in the New York papers the next day, complete with a picture of a handsome Martian uranium miner and a caption that read, "Husbands are waiting on Mars." When the next space liner rolled in, it brought the list of lady applicants from Earth, complete with photographs and background. Here's the first batch, Charlie. Let's look them over.
Yeah, right.
Let's see now. Maybe the next one will be a little better.
How is it?
Let's see the next one.
Lola Carroll, age 29. 29? Whew, she's 40 if she's a day. Occupation, homebody. Background in education, blank. Oh, a note from Mitchell. Says she did 4 years at a reformatory for shoplifting, and she's currently on parole.
Let's see this one. Wanda Baker, age 35, occupation gymnastic instructor, State College. Note says she was picked up for loitering and fined on 17 different occasions. Oh, brother.
These ain't exactly the creme de la creme, these ladies.
Oh, what'd you expect?
It ain't what I expect, Mike. It's what the boys in the mining camp expect. $100 fee plus $2,500 for transportation. That ain't hay.
Wait a minute. I got an idea.
I'm waiting.
First, we get rid of all these pictures, see? Then we print up a few thousand pictures of movie starlets, and we paste them on the applications. We make a few changes in the statistics, such as age and so on, and we're back in business.
You know, Mike, I used to think you were about as crooked as a one-armed bandit, but I don't think it anymore. I know it.
So we spent the next few nights pasting up pictures and changing age 38 to age 28 and so on. It was easy. Then we called in the applicants from the mining camp and gave each one the dope sheet on his prospective bride.
Hey, Bill. Hey, look at mine. Lola Carroll, age 29. Boy.
Mine's named Wanda Baker. She's 25. Well, you dig this picture? She's almost... What's wrong? Mine looks exactly like yours.
What? Let me see.
Take a look at those two pictures.
You're right.
Wait a minute. Hey, Mr. Mortensen.
Yes?
Take a look at this. Both alike.
Most peculiar. Particularly peculiar since, well, mine looks like yours, too.
You put in for a wife?
Why not? Miranda Potts, age 25. A former lady wrestling coach. But the pictures puzzle me.
I think maybe these guys are trying to pull a fast one.
You may be right at that. Come, gentlemen, let's pay a visit to our benefactors, Mr. McDonald and Mr. Beagle.
At the precise moment that Henry Mortensen and his two aggressive companions decided to drop in on myself and Charlie Beagle, we were in the process of tying our money into small bundles and placing it in suitcases, which also contained our clothes and tickets for the next rocket to Earth. It was very embarrassing. Oh, yes, gentlemen?
We would like a word with you, Mr. McDonald.
Well, Mr. Beagle and I are a little busy.
I'm afraid it'll have to wait.
Oh, what seems to be the problem?
Just the three of us have the picture of the same girl clipped to our applications.
Really? Well, let's have a look.
Right here.
Well, what do you know? Charlie, take a look.
Huh?
You imbecile, you didn't check for duplicates. Well, now I think maybe I have an explanation, boys.
Go on.
None of you has been on Earth for some years now, is that right?
That's true.
Well, you know how styles take hold on Earth. One year every woman's curly and blonde. Next year it's straight and brunette. Well, the same thing has happened with cosmetics, makeup, and so on. Now, gentlemen, when I was on Earth last month, every woman in New York was trying to look like a certain movie actress. It got so men couldn't tell their own wives apart.
That isn't very convincing, Mr. McDonald.
Look, boys, obviously there was some mix-up at the Earth Agency. They got the wrong pictures pasted up or something, but I'm sure it'll all straighten itself out. Now, if you don't mind, Mr. Beagle and I have to finish packing.
We mind.
You do?
You do.
Uh-huh. Tom, you take that money in those suitcases and lock them up over at the company office.
Now, boys, just a minute.
That's stealing, boys. It's considered dishonest.
We ain't stealing. We're just keeping the stuff in escrow, you might say.
Till when?
Till the rocket ships get here with the girls. If these dames are as gorgeous as you tell us they are, you'll get every penny of your dough.
Suppose they ain't quite gorgeous.
And you and your friend here are going to suddenly find yourselves unable to carry on as living humans. You fetch my meaning?
I fetch. Well, this caused a small dilemma in me and my partner, Beagle. The problem was easy to state. We had sold these guys on the idea that they were engaged to be wedded to an assortment of lovely, desirable, attractive young girls from Earth. The contingent from Earth, on the other hand, was made up mainly of frustrated, lonely women and a goodly portion of female criminal types. The problem was how to convince these boys that they were not getting cheated. That's enough, Charlie. Now, the problem is how to convince everybody that he ain't getting cheated, right?
Oh, you're a master of summing up a problem. Now how about solving it?
Yes, give me some time.
Look, the rocket fleet from Earth arrives here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. 20,000 very strong miners will be assembled at the rocket port waiting.
True.
So?
Pour me a little more of that muggle juice.
No.
Muggle juice. We could get them all drunk on muggle juice, mass hypnotize them. I'm dreaming.
So what do we do?
I could make a speech, appeal to their better selves, say these poor, unfortunate women need love and affection, something they've never had.
Uh-huh.
How about makeup? Maybe we could hire a cosmetic man to make them up to look like the pictures.
Sure.
Or we could say that it's all a big mistake. We got the wrong shipment.
Or we could kill ourselves.
No need for that, Charlie. That's going to be done for us.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
Well, it's been a short life and a merry one. Drink up, Charlie. For tomorrow we die. The next morning, the miners came in from all parts of the desert to assemble at the spaceport. It was quite a sight. They'd all shaved and spruced up for the occasion, and some of them looked downright handsome. And every one of them had a package wrapped with ribbon for his prospective bride.
Tom! Hey, Tom, over here!
Hi.
Some excitement, huh?
I'm sweating like a schoolboy on his first date.
Why, see, you got a present, too.
Yeah, they were selling some of that cologne water. Hanley's number 4.
Well, I got the same thing.
Boy, this whole planet is going to smell like Hanley's number 4.
Is my tie on straight? It's been 8 years since I tied a tie.
That's pretty good. Boy, everybody is nervous as a cat.
You know, I took a look at myself in the mirror this morning. It was quite an experience. I just stood there looking. And then I said to myself, Bill, you're a slob. You couldn't get a girl on Earth. And if you're lucky, maybe the one who's coming today won't go back on the first ship.
I was thinking the same thing. You suppose they'll be as glamorous as those 2 crooks told us?
You know what? I hope not. I just wouldn't feel right bringing a real cultured, glamorous creature to that tar paper shack over near mine number 6.
I was thinking the same thing.
There's Mortensen. Boy, he looks like he's going to the radiation chamber.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
Well, it shouldn't be long now.
We ought to sight the first ship any minute.
Fellow down at number 3 mine was trying to get out of it. He was so sure his girl'd be disappointed.
Well, maybe they won't expect so much. Oh, here he comes!
Attention, all men waiting to receive wives. The Earth-Mars convoy, Operation Big Date, is approaching the landing area. Please stand behind the fire screen until the ships are all landed. And good luck.
During all this, Charlie Beagle and I were more or less under guard back at our office. I say more or less because there were 6 miners with loaded guns sitting practically on top of us. In the distance, we could hear the rockets come blasting in for a landing. And then everything got very quiet. And we knew the girls were coming off the ships.
What do you suppose is happening?
Well, it's pretty quiet, Charlie. I guess the girls are coming off.
Yeah, I don't hear no sounds of rejoicing.
Now, just take it easy.
You suppose they'll hang us or shoot us?
Now, relax.
Relax, he says, but... Oh, here comes a Jeep with Uncle Henry and...
Is he alone?
Uh-huh.
Well, so long, Charlie.
Gentlemen?
Now, look, Mr. Mortensen, this can all be explained. There was an error and the wrong girls got shot.
Don't try to explain it, McDonald.
But you can't just kill us without even a trial. I mean, it isn't just.
Who said anything about killing you? We're throwing a banquet tonight, and we want you and Mr. Beagle as guests of honor.
As what?
Guests of honor.
You mean the girls were okay?
Okay, they're lovely. The nicest thing about them, of course, is that they don't expect much. They seem to accept us with all our faults and all the shabbiness and ugliness of the life on Mars. There isn't a one of them who turned up her nose at the place, They seem thankful just to be here.
And the guys, they all feel okay about it?
Okay, they're like a bunch of kids. There isn't a one of them who wasn't scared breathless that he'd have some sophisticated glamour girl on his hands. No, sir. These are down-to-earth women who had it tough on Earth, and they figure to find some happiness here if it's humanly possible.
Yeah, but how did the boys like the way they shape up?
Charlie.
I mean, there might be some that seemed a little older than the application. You know how clerical errors can be made.
Well, gentlemen, when you've been living on Mars for 15 years without having seen even a single Earth woman, you kind of lose these standards that Hollywood sets for us. As far as I and the other men are concerned, they're gorgeous.
Well, that's the story, which proves you can sell a guy a gold brick that's made out of lead, and sometimes you find out the poor sucker likes lead even better than gold. Charlie Beagle and myself made a small fortune on the deal, like I said before. I made a trip back to Mars last month just to satisfy my curiosity, and you know what? I never saw a happier bunch of people in all my life. Hey, by the way, Henry Mortensen and the lady wrestler are having a kid. They're going to call it Mike if it's a boy, and Michelle if it's a girl.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Ignoble Savages by Evelyn E. Smith, the story of the Snadra, which had but one choice in its fight to afford to live below ground, to pretend that theirs was an above-board society. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Girls from Earth, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Frank M. Robinson and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Mandel Kramer as Mike, Bob Hastings as Charlie, John Gibson as Henry, Jim Stevens as Tom, Dick Hamilton as Bill, and Phil Sterling as the waiter. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
When the Gregory Yacht sailed for the South Pacific, the members of the expedition hoped they would find a strange island and a little lost girl, and return the little girl to her mother. All this has been done. But now, when the yacht should be sailing gaily home with a happy party on board, it is tied up, helpless, at one of the piers on the island of Euclidia, the magic island of the South Seas. Mrs. Gregory, her daughter Joan, Jerry Hall, and Captain Tex Bradford are in Mrs. Gregory's cabin on the yacht, discussing the failure of their attempt to outwit G-47, the mad scientist.
Why, Tex, if this thing is just as you describe it, we're actually prisoners. Worse than prisoners. For now we haven't even a chance of rescue from the outside world.
I'm afraid that's about the size of it, Pat.
Oh, Mother, it's almost too much, isn't it? Just a few hours after we have found each other, and we're making such happy plans to go back to your world. Then to have it all taken away from us again.
Oh, cheer up, Cleostra. Gee, how I hate that name.
My name is Joan now, Jerry, and no one need ever call me Cleostra again.
That old G-47 keeps right on calling you Cleostra.
I think G-47 will go right on doing a number of things we'll be powerless to prevent.
It looks bad now, Patricia, but there's always a way out of everything if you try hard enough.
I sure can't see any way out of this. Gee, and I thought that message to Johnson would get us rescued right away.
How did the plan fail, Tex? Have they done something to the radio that we can't communicate with Johnson?
No, the radio is all right. Jerry talked to Johnson, and Johnson repeated the message back. That part of it was all right. The G-47 also heard the message, and he knows that I've instructed Johnson not to move in our rescue without orders from me. And unless we can find some other method of communication, those orders will never get to Johnson.
But why, Tex? Why did you send Johnson such orders? Isn't there some way he could rescue us?
That's what I couldn't figure out, Mrs. Gregory.
I'm almost sure that it would be impossible to rescue anyone from this island. It would only mean the lives of everybody who tried it.
You are right, Captain Bradford. They have weapons so terrible here that a big battleship just melts away and sinks within a few minutes, and without a chance to fire a shot. Its guns and engines all powerless.
Joan, my daughter, you've just heard these men talking about what they think they can do, of course. Nothing like that has actually happened.
I have seen it with my own eyes. A fine battleship sinking in 10 minutes. Everyone on board lost. And the only weapon used by the Euclideans was one of their larger ray guns, looking very much like one of your telescopes. Oh, Mother, even now you do not realize the awful power of things on this island.
Golly whiskers. Gee, that sounds like the real thing, Tex.
It is the real thing, Jerry. That's why I'm so hopeless about it all.
Why, Tex, I've never seen you act like this before. You can't mean you're giving up, that there's no possible way to get off this island?
No, I haven't given up. But there's no hope in any of the ordinary ways of doing these things. We've got to hit on some way of getting information to Johnson. Then he will have a chance to rescue us.
What's that information, Captain?
I'd rather not tell you, Jerry. At least not just now. Might be too unpleasant for you if G47 found out you knew the only ray of hope there is. It will take time. Days, weeks, maybe months. And until then, I want to keep that to myself.
Then let's hope that guy never finds out how to read what you're thinking about.
I suggest that we try to forget all this for a few minutes and act like human beings. Come and sit by me, Joan. I can hardly realize that after 14 long years, we're really together.
Gee whiz. Look at that, Captain.
At what, Jerry?
At Joan and Mrs. Gregory. They look just alike, don't they?
They sure do, son. And especially since Joan has a dress of her mother's own.
I said that Joan would be pretty. Almost as pretty as you are, Mrs. Gregory. And she is, too.
You're a sweet boy, Jerry. You've been good company for us on this trip. Aren't you glad we brought him, Tex?
Yeah, as far as he's concerned. But I'm sorry to get anybody into this. Your dad'll be plenty worried about you, Jerry.
Oh, no, he won't. He knows I'm with you.
Well, right now, being with me is the poorest protection I can think of.
Now, Tex, dear, don't start that again. We're all in this together because of Joan and me. And we'll all get out of it together. Don't worry any more about it. Please, dear.
Mother, when you talk to the captain like that, you look at him so soft and different, and your eyes are so large and beautiful, and now your cheek is turning red. Mother, why does Captain Bradford look so uncomfortable?
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
What is the matter with you, Jerry?
Oh, nothing.
Jerry, you mustn't do that.
I'm sorry.
Mother, is Jerry not feeling well? Why should he laugh when he says he is sorry?
Joan, you're a very scientific young lady, and your knowledge is way beyond your years. But, well, the reason Jerry was laughing is...
Yes, Tex. What is the reason?
Look, Joan, what would you think if I called you dear?
I should think it was very silly. My name is Joan.
Yes, but look.
Give it up, Jerry. Never mind, Joan. We're not making fun of you. It's just one of those things you'll understand when we get back to the world. Back to the world.
Now, there you go again, Tex. If you can't just sit still and talk about something pleasant, then for heaven's sake do something, anything, to occupy your mind.
I know a great deal about many of the things on Euclidia. Perhaps I could tell you something that would help you.
That's true, Tex. After all, Joan knows more about this island than any of us. Probably more than we shall ever know, and we haven't asked her for any information of real value.
Well, I got an idea that the more we hear about this place, the more hopeless it's going to look.
That is true. The more you see on this island and learn about it, the more you realize that the Euclideans are the most terrible and dangerous people in the world.
Just the same, they must have overlooked something. And we'll find a method of communicating with our friends in the world outside.
Tex, I just remembered something.
Something that will help us out of this?
At least it may help us to understand it. The old sailor's diary.
I was to tell you about that pitiful old gentleman who thought he had escaped from here.
What do you mean, thought he had escaped? He did escape.
Of course he did, Joan. And he was picked up in the open sea and taken to a hospital somewhere. We heard about him on a shortwave broadcast. That's how we got the position of this island. And found you, my dear.
What did you mean by that, Joan? He thought he had escaped.
He was allowed to escape. And then when he was helpless, lost in the sea, he was picked up and brought back here to the island again.
Then those broadcasts we heard came from right here on this crazy Euclidia.
I thought there was something unnatural about the accent of the man we heard broadcasting. Someone from here, of course.
G47 himself, I think. But why go to all that trouble with the poor old sailor?
It was all a trap to get you here, Captain Bradford. I have heard your name many times, and Mother's too, although they never let me know it was my mother they were talking about.
But what did they want to get the captain down here for? Oh, I know. That formula of yours, Tex.
But why torture the poor old sailor? The broadcast would have brought us anyway.
That was something I did not just understand. They did not talk too much in my presence, but it had something to do with the diary the old man kept. The scientists wanted it, and they never found it.
That's it. G47 figured that if he allowed the old man to think he was escaping, the poor fellow would trot out the diary and try and take it with him.
What was in this diary that made it so valuable?
I am not sure, but the old sailor was allowed a great deal of freedom on the island, and I think he had found out the exact formulas and methods which made many of the Euclideans' greatest discoveries possible. And he probably had a complete map of everything contained on the island. G47 must have known and feared this.
But the diary was never found?
Never. I think it is still on the island, and although no one can think of any possible place to hide it.
I should think those rays of theirs would look through everything and show the book up mighty quick.
Sure. They can even look through cement and steel with those things.
But not through the opaque cloth. The cloth of my dress, which you used tonight.
Say, Joan, that dress of yours, when G47 came into the radio cabin and saw us with the dress, he didn't look surprised. Said he knew we had it.
Of course he did.
You must have gone too near the door, Joan, and he saw you with my dress on.
I think not, but how else would he know?
He would know because I did not turn my dress in with the others to be destroyed.
Turn it in to be destroyed?
Destroy a lovely piece of material like that?
Every day?
Every evening. You have heard how we make a new dress every day in 300 seconds. You will see all that when G47 allows you to go through the laboratories.
Well, why 300 seconds? Say 5 minutes, Joan. You're in our world now, and we aren't so busy, but what we can talk in minutes.
Yes, my dear. You will do everything as we do it now.
I like to do things your way, Mother dear.
I'm sure glad you're on our side, Joan. You're going to make a great little sidekick for me.
But I like you, Jerry. Why should I make a sidekick at you?
Oh, no. That's just my way of saying that you and I are going to get along all right.
Your conversation is confusing to me, Jerry, with your many exaggerated idiosyncrasies of expression.
Golly, whiskers.
That is what I mean. Golly is what you call slang, is it not?
Oh, I guess it is.
Then what are the whiskers for? I have learned that you use a great deal of slang because you're too lazy to speak correctly. But the whiskers on the golly, there's no sense to that, Jerry.
Look, you win. I give up. Forget it.
Don't look so worried, Joan. Jerry was just having a little fun with you.
I thought I was, but I got a notion she's having some fun with me.
I'm afraid Joan hasn't had much experience in having fun, Jerry. Euclidia isn't a funny place.
No, Mother. Until you and Jerry and the captain came to this island, I had never heard anyone laugh as you do. These Euclideans only laugh when they're watching someone suffer or planning some terrible thing to do.
Now, dear, you're not going to worry any more about all this tonight, and you must get some sleep. Tex, you and Jerry say good night and go to your cabin. I want a few moments alone with Joan, and she's very tired, aren't you, dear?
Oh, no, Mother. I am not at all tired.
Oh, sure you are. Your eyes look like 2 fried holes in a blanket.
Fried holes? In a blanket? How can you fry...
Skip it. I'm sorry I started it. Good night, Joan. Good night, Mrs. Gregory.
Good night, Jerry.
Good night, Pat and Joan. Jerry will take turns with me on deck tonight, so don't worry. See you in the morning. Night.
Good night, Tex. Jerry.
Gee, Tex, they've got that funny yellow light all over the island again. You can hardly see.
That's what we're up against, kid. That weird yellow light all over this island is a pretty good example of how much we can see of what's ahead of us.
You're right, sir. We can't see a thing.
Into the mysterious South Pacific Ocean sailed the magnificent yacht of Mrs. Patricia Gregory. Captain Tex Bradford, her business manager, and young Jerry Hall went with her in search of Mrs. Gregory's little daughter, Joan. The Gregory yacht is now held to the strange Isle of Euclidia, and all on board are prisoners of G-47 and his colony of scientists. Joan has spent her first night on board the yacht, away from the weird scientists who have raised her in ignorance of the outside world. The Gregory party is just leaving the yacht for their first daylight view of the island.
Well, the island looks a lot different in the daylight.
Everything sparkles just as if it had been polished.
Does someone have to shine that stuff all the time, Joan?
No, Jerry. The whole surface of the island, except the stone we are walking on, is made of some metal that never tarnishes. These buildings have looked exactly the same as long as I can remember, and they are never touched.
And it certainly is an island of wonders, even if they are terrible wonders.
They won't be so terrible when we get back to our world with them.
I'm afraid, Captain Bradford, that will never be done.
Have there been many prisoners like ourselves, dear?
A great many, and those who tried to escape are nowhere now.
Gee, didn't they all try to escape?
Oh, no. Most of the Euclideans started as prisoners, but they are as bad as the scientists now.
I can't imagine anyone wanting to become a party to the scientific horrors being created here.
What could the scientists offer these prisoners as a reward for staying and working with them?
I've heard some of them talking, and most of them were people who were not satisfied with their life in the world or their position in it. And G-47 has promised each of them a state or a country to rule for their own if they will help him finish his experiments.
This thing is terrific, Patricia. It means world conquest and a world of slaves if we can't prevent it.
You are right, Captain.
Well, let's quit guessing and let Joan explain some of the things she knows for sure about this island.
Yes, G-47 gave you permission to take us around the island and explain it, Joan. But don't tell us anything you shouldn't.
Right, no sense in your getting punished for showing us too much.
You need not worry about that. The places I can take you into, you could walk through without me, and the others...
Well, we'll touch only the things you tell us to. But before we go into any of the buildings, there's something I want to know. Something about this concrete or stone that we've been walking on.
I know about that. You want to know why your shoes make no sound when you walk on this surface.
You bet we want to know. Pretty near scared us to death when we were walking around in the dark here last night, and we couldn't even hear our shoes hit this stone.
It felt as if we were walking on a heavy carpet, yet this is smooth and hard as cement.
I know how that is done. They made this island out of stone, or something hard like stone. Then they painted it with the noiseless paint.
A true soundproof paint. Pat, when I get back to the States and take that formula to the studios, I'll be rich.
Hey, wait a minute.
What happened, Jerry?
Oh, nothing happened. But I just got something you said.
What did I say?
Well, you said when they made this island. You just mean when they fixed up the top of it, don't you?
Not at all. G-47 explained the construction of this island quite lucidly. A hidden coral reef was utilized as a base, and the island gradually built up from the sea floor. The coral was used to form this hard substance we are walking on. So it is quite obvious, Jerry. They made the island.
But that would have taken years and an army of men.
How many people are there on this island?
I think 250.
Golly whiskers. Where do they keep them?
There can't be more than a dozen of these little steel buildings on the island. And I know most of these are radio rooms and defense chambers. Where are the people?
Everyone lives on the lower levels, and most of them work there.
Lower levels? How far down does this thing go?
There are 10 levels below us, 100 feet.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz is very good at this time, Jerry.
100 feet deep. And about 1,000 feet across, eh, Joan?
The main circular part of the island is 600 feet in diameter. It is 800 feet between the control houses halfway out on the piers and 1,000 feet to the ends of the piers.
Then those piers are 200 feet long. How many of them are there?
12 piers and 8 submarines.
Huh? 8 what?
Submarines?
Why, this is a complete fortress.
Where are the submarines now?
They are kept between the piers, deep in the water. You enter them from the 50-foot level.
Submarines anchored 8 fathoms down, and you board them there. Oh, this is so big it's hard to believe. And think of the damage they could do to the world.
Well, what are these little bowl-shaped places on the island floor or roof or whatever this thing we're walking on is called?
It is called the roof when we are up here and the ceiling when we are under it.
There you are, Pat.
I deserved it. What are these little bowls, Joan, dear?
It is in those we have our palm garden during the safe days.
What do you mean, safe days?
When there is no ship near us and the fog ring is let down, the sun comes in, and then we grow a palm garden.
You grow a palm tree garden in these holes when you want it?
Well, that is a comparatively elementary demonstration. The chief agriculturist puts a small quantity of chemical soil in these receptacles, exposes them briefly to the light of sub-ultraviolet ray, then plants palm seeds in them, and in approximately 280 seconds, the island is suitably shaded by palm trees of mature growth.
Oh, boy, Oh, boy.
Have you actually seen that happen, Joan?
Certainly, Mother. When the ocean is free of danger and the governing body wishes to train the colony in conduct in worldly agriculture.
But what if a ship were to come upon you suddenly, or an airplane fly over? It would take time to get rid of those trees.
Only a few seconds, Captain. Just some other chemical put upon them, and in a moment they are only minute piles of vegetable ash in the bowls. Then the fog cloud is thrown around the island while that is happening. The magnetic ring is turned on, and ships pass by without even suspecting the existence of Euclidia.
It's almost too much to believe, my dear, but we know some of it is true, so the rest is more plausible.
Well, we had one boat that didn't pass the island without knowing it was here.
The Euclideans were watching you all the time, and G47 became afraid you might sail away in the night when you were released from the fog ring. So then he ordered the tractive magnets turned on to pull your yacht to the island.
How strong are those magnets?
I am not sure I can quote it accurately, but the design of the necessary strength in those magnets is based on Maxwell's fundamental equation for the pull. And that
Hey, not so fast. Even if you know all that, I don't want to hear it. All I want to know is how large a boat they will pull to the island, and how far at sea this pull may be felt.
I know that some boats have been pulled in which were longer than the piers and had to be destroyed at once as the fog ring would not conceal them.
Jiminy Christmas.
What happened to the people on those boats?
Some of them have joined the scientists in their work, and the others... Oh, I have heard terrible things.
My poor child.
Oh, don't you worry, Joan. We'll get you out of this quick.
I don't know how quick, Jerry, but we'll get out all right.
Here is the room where we make our dresses each day for the next day.
Well, you didn't make one last night.
No, and you looked very charming in one of my dresses, dear.
And even if the material of your dress didn't do us any good last night, the time will come when that material will save our lives, and possibly more than that.
I do not see how that can be. It is a pretty and useful cloth, but after all, just a cloth.
True, dear, but with a cloth that will shield us from the light and sound waves of these scientists, we can secure a little privacy, and Jerry and Tex will try to plan our escape.
We will go in the cloth mill now. And remember, do not ask too many questions, if you have the opportunity to ask any.
Gee whiz! This is the noisiest place I was ever in. And we couldn't hear a sound from the outside.
The walls are treated with the soundproof tape.
Those machines certainly make an awful clatter.
That doesn't seem right to me. With all the other things this bunch has figured out, why don't they silence those machines?
I'll bet they can't stop the noise.
I'll bet they can stop it.
You are right, Captain. These machines are kept noisy for a good reason.
Just to give the people headaches?
No. To keep the Euclideans hearing normal.
G47 hasn't overlooked a bet, has it?
I don't understand it. What value has all this noise? I should think it would be easier on the ears and nerves and everything else to have them run quietly.
I sure don't get it, Tex.
Joan said it was to keep their hearing normal. That means that nearly everything on this island is perfectly silent. And if the people here were never to hear a sound except their own voices, they would soon lose part of the art of hearing. They would not be able to distinguish one sound from another.
Many men have come here, Captain Bradford, but no one else has ever grasped the true reason for these things as you do. I can see why G47 wanted you here.
I understand it now, and you are a clever man, Tex. These men here were really afraid to have you continue your experiments in our world. They wanted your brain here. That's why the yacht was allowed to reach the island.
Well, we came to find Joan, and we got her. So never mind how we got to the island. And if Tex is smart enough that these guys are afraid of him, then he's smart enough to get us out of this.
I hope you're right, Jerry, but I don't feel very smart right now. Show us how the machine works, will you, Joan?
You will notice that large hopper at the intake side of the room, where they are putting the Macrocystis perifera in. That is just ordinary seaweed taken from any kelp bed.
Then that wonderful cloth is made from seaweed?
Gosh, these fellas are plenty smart, all right.
The seaweed is ground up there. Then it goes through all these other machines where they do things to it which I do not understand. Then it comes out on those rollers ready to make dresses of. I do know, however, that before it comes out as you see it, it has gone down to one of the lower levels to a secret laboratory. I have never seen that.
And I'll bet that's where it gets soaked with the sound and light-proof liquid.
If we could only get our hands on some of that liquid.
Right, boy. We could cover the yacht with it and get out of here.
Why, the machinery. The noise has stopped.
Has something happened? I have never known it to stop at this time of day before.
I'll bet it's our fault. Do you think they could hear us talking through all that noise?
Probably if they wanted to, but why stop the machinery?
The alarm. That gong is only rung when someone is trying to escape from the island. That means near Pier 5. Your yacht is anchored at Pier 5, Mother. Someone must be trying to escape from your yacht.
I'll bet the skipper's trying to take a rowboat out.
Boy, I hope he makes it.
The program you are about to hear is largely fiction, science fiction. We make no guarantees, however, how long it will remain fiction.
Exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
The philosophers down the ages have hassled a long time and with many words about the good, the true, and the beautiful. The true, well, that can be defined pretty objectively. But there's a peculiar thing about beautiful. What is beauty? And in whose terms? Makes it difficult.
With the story of The Adventure of the Beauty Queen, which stars Miss Charlotte Sheffield, Miss United States of 1958.
Beauty is a much more complicated problem than the question of truth, actually. A truth is an eternal thing. If it's true, it's true, and that's that. But beauty is appropriate. It changes as the situations change. It changes with time. I wonder how our own concepts of beauty, that is, our human race's concepts of beauty, will change as time goes by. Let's suppose that a famous young woman of our time, Miss United States, if you like, is awakened in her sleep by an alien presence, a strange force she feels but cannot see. It's something she knows is there.
Who are you?
You know I am here.
Yes.
Can you see me?
No.
Nor can I see you. I am conscious I am with you.
Dreams, of course.
No, it's real.
Who are you?
A man who in your terms belongs to the distant future. I am unborn in the way you think of it. And to me, you have been dead over 1,000 years, were I back in my own orbit.
Someone's playing a joke.
No, this is no joke. But please, don't be afraid. I mean no harm.
You're dead 1,000 years. Whoever you are, what are you talking about?
Listen to me. Try to understand. I belong to a race of scientists. In simple words you can understand, we have a device which enables us to project ourselves into the past. You belong to the past. Do you understand?
Yes.
The device has made me conscious of you for a long time. I have used it to explore the past, and in these explorations, I have searched for the highest form of human beauty.
How do you know whether or not I'm beautiful if you can't see me?
The device tells me you're beautiful. Beauty, real beauty, is a force that transmits itself, that can be picked up by a form of radar. Please understand, I'm only using terms I think you can follow. In my own orbit, I would not even talk to a child in such simple terms.
Go away. Please go away.
I can't. I'm in love with you.
What?
In love with you.
In love?
Yes. Very much. Is it funny?
Oh, yes.
I don't think it is.
But it is.
Do women of your time always laugh at a man's love?
Oh, don't be silly. I wasn't laughing at you.
Well, then at what?
I just thought it was very funny. The idea of your being in love with a blip on a radar screen. After all, that's about what I am to you, isn't it?
Oh, no.
It must be.
No. The radar screen, as you call it, simply picked you up, pointed you out to us.
Us?
My associates and I.
Oh.
I felt very strongly drawn to you. I convinced my associates to conduct further experiments, actual contact with someone out of the past. You. I had to know you. I had to come into orbit with you.
Look, don't you think this joke has gone far enough?
I told you this is not a joke.
Of course it is.
Well, you know better.
Oh, don't you suppose I know what's going on? Well, I should have thought of it a long time ago.
What is going on?
Why, it's very simple. Someone installed a radio pickup in this room. And you're talking to me through a microphone.
Talking to you?
You are, aren't you?
Oh, no.
What do you mean, no?
I'm not talking to you in the way you think I am. I'm projecting to you.
Oh, please stop this.
But it's not your voice I hear. I'm receiving impulses from you, not actual words. The device I mentioned interprets the nature of your impulses, translates them into my language. It does the same for you.
It's true. I don't hear your voice. Not as a sound, I mean.
You begin to realize.
Please stop.
No, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. You must be insane to say that. I'm scared out of my life. I want to scream. I'm afraid to. I'm not even sure I'm awake. I'm not even sure I'm alive.
You're alive. In your century. Now, understand what I'm telling you. In a moment, you'll be drawn out of your orbit, projected into the future, into my orbit. I want to see you. I want to see if you're as beautiful as your impulses say you are. If you are, I'm afraid I'll keep you where I am in the future.
No, I don't believe any of it. You're mad. Whoever you are, you're quite insane.
Are you receiving me?
Yes.
Don't be afraid. You're in limbo, on your way into my orbit. Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
All of us, as American citizens, believe in our inherent liberties and freedoms, such as the freedom of the individual to choose and elect his own national representatives. It has been said that there is only one ruling class in America, the people themselves, who, through their vote, have established the law of our land. The real importance of this freedom depends on our accepting the responsibility not only to know what we are voting for or against, but also to choose our leaders for the best interests of the nation. So, accept your responsibility and ensure your freedom.
Of all things men have discussed and considered today, time is the one of which we know least. We know how to travel in space. And recent physical work has indicated that actually things can travel backwards as well as forwards in time. But we know nothing about it. And one of the things that would be strange on this, how long does it take to travel through time? When you are traveling through time itself, how long does it take to go from now to then? How long was Miss United States in that limbo before she was there?
I am talking to you. I am projecting to you. Are you receiving me?
Yes.
Are you afraid?
A little.
Not as much as you thought you'd be.
No.
Have you any idea of where you are?
I'm in a room. That's all I know.
I'm in the next one. We're on the 500th floor of the Institute of Technical Research in the city of Columbia. In your century, I believe you called it Washington.
Washington?
You understand, this is America.
I'm glad to hear that, at least.
Yes, I can see it relieves you.
You can see me?
Very clearly.
And am I?
Are you what?
Well, what you expected me to be.
To some extent.
Do you find me unattractive?
Alien.
Alien?
Different.
Yes, I know the meaning of the word.
At first, I was conscious of a sense of shock when I first saw you.
At least you're frank.
Well, I'm a scientist.
Do you find me ugly?
I said alien. Of course, I knew you would be. I didn't expect you to measure up physically to our standards. The human form has improved a great deal since your century.
But why? Was there a reason?
Man-made reasons.
Can you tell me?
Well, it began with interplanetary wars conducted by the nations of the world. The struggle to build empires in outer space on other planets.
When was this?
Oh, not in your century. You saw only the first feeble attempts to explore space.
Yes, I suppose our attempts are feeble.
Well, the interplanetary wars did a great deal of destruction, particularly on this planet. Precious documents, books, records were lost. But there was another result. The atmosphere of the Earth became charged with radioactive matter. For a while, it looked as though the human race had become extinct, but it didn't. The human body acclimated itself to new atmospheric conditions and flourished again. But by that time, our physical form had changed. Changed for the better. And today...
Go on.
Well, today, the human form is the most beautiful creation has ever seen.
And by your standards, I am something of a shock to you.
Your physical form was, at first, yes.
Am I very different from the women here?
Very different.
To you, they're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Would I find them attractive?
I don't think so.
I might.
Oh, no.
Why not? If they're so beautiful, I mean.
Well, your conception of beauty is not ours.
I understand that, but...
But what?
I don't know. I was going to say that beauty is beauty, but that wouldn't make any sense.
No, the concept of beauty is what matters.
But you said beauty is a force. It radiates.
The inner beauty radiates.
I understand that, too.
Well, how do you think of the universe?
Oh, I think I associate it with God. I identify it with the divine mind.
I'm surprised.
The universe is a reflection of God.
Now I begin to understand why, in spite of your physical form, your beauty reached me. And it has nothing to do with your looks.
I wouldn't be very gracious if I didn't say thank you.
I'm going to keep you here, you know, if I can.
I don't think you quite mean that.
I mean it in every sense. I want you now to remember what I've said about the change for the better in human form. I'm going to open the door to your room and come in. Now, please keep in mind that I do not look as the men of your century looked, but also remember that here I'm supposed to be a reasonably good-looking fellow.
I would like to see you.
Well, you will in the next few seconds.
That which is beautiful and befitting, appropriate, depends on the environment it's in. The future people had to undergo some rather complete changes to meet the environment that, shall we say, we, their ancestors, had imposed on them. A little too much radioactivity. And that which was beautiful is no longer befitting. The thing that is now befitting, we might not think of as particularly beautiful.
Is it so bad?
I'm sorry.
I should not have exposed myself to the shock you feel, to the revulsion you feel at the sight of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I should have known.
Forgive me. I just can't look at you for a moment. I have to adjust.
There's a window behind you. You can look out.
Oh, thank you. Please, don't resent me.
No, I was just wondering if you have any idea how incredible to me your revulsion is.
Yes, I think I have an idea.
You must overlook what sounds like vanity, but I have to repeat what I told you before. I'm supposed to be more than passably good-looking.
Yes, I understand.
But you can't stand the sight of me.
Give me a moment. Are you looking at me?
Yes.
Does it still hurt you?
No. No, I'm too conscious of your inner beauty.
I'm very grateful.
I'm curious about something.
Yes?
Are you conscious of any of my impulses?
I think so.
Do you find them hostile?
No.
Alien?
No.
Do they cause you any fear?
I don't think so.
Well, forgetting how I appear to your eyes, do you like me?
Yes. Yes, I think you must be a very nice person.
The curious thing is...
Yes?
I was going to say, the curious thing is I'm still in love with you.
You mustn't be.
Perhaps love is a dimension.
I don't know. I'm too confused to think about it.
Or perhaps it's an orbit we enter or leave. I don't know either. It was just a thought.
You can't examine love through a microscope, can you?
Well, it's been exposed to every kind of study for centuries. Even the people of your time knew its reactions to be purely chemical. Of course, your poets didn't agree, but then neither do ours.
Do you have poets?
Oh, yes, we have them. They resist us. They call themselves the last human barrier against science. They refuse to understand what basic science is.
What is it?
Well, isn't it man's eternal craving to find out more about the universe, or the divine mind?
Let me go back.
Go back?
Please.
How can you even want to go back? Look, what do you see through that window? Nothing but beauty. Miles of emerald green fields with cities that sparkle like diamonds rising out of them. Nothing but prosperity. Prosperity and peace. And you want to go back to your miserable century?
To my people. To my own people. I belong with them. I don't belong here.
I'll tell you something. We're being observed, listened to by my associates.
Observed?
Well, the final decision must come from them. I'm as much a part of this experiment as you are, even though it was my idea. Now that we've succeeded in drawing you out of your orbit into ours, I don't think our science will release you. We can learn a great deal from you about the things of your century. Besides, I love you. I want to keep you here.
Please! Please don't touch me! Please don't touch me! Dream. That's all it was. It's all it was. It couldn't have been anything else. It couldn't have been.
There are parts of beauty that are eternal, that are not like the physical that changes, but the beauty of a true and honest personality. This sort of beauty that will endure. There are things that you can rely on as time goes by. Woman needs man, man must have his mate. On this you can rely. The only thing is, the definition of man and woman will tend to change with the passing of ages. But the fundamental things apply. An honest man and an honest woman. These we need forever.
Join us for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Brett Morrison and the real Miss United States of 1958, Charlotte Sheffield. Script was by John Fleming. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. Guy Wallace speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Guys, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as mild-mannered Clark Kent, reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. As you remember, Editor White, Kent, and Lois Lane, aided by Ralph Remsen, have been conducting a campaign against District Attorney Parker in an attempt to oust him from office because of his crooked practices. They were repeatedly warned against continuing their campaign by an invisible man, strange and baffling ally of the crooked DA, who was successful in frightening the mayor into withholding his support. And, but for the miraculous intervention of Superman, would have sent White and Lois crashing to their death while driving to see the governor in the state capitol. As our story opens today, we find them in Editor White's office, where Kent makes an astounding announcement. Listen.
I say I solved the mystery. I know how the invisible man makes himself invisible.
I've had enough of this nonsense from you, Kent. Get out. You're fired.
Wait a minute, Mr. White.
Yes, Lois?
Clark, did you mean what you said? Do you really know how the invisible man makes himself invisible?
Well, I can do it myself.
I don't believe it. You've got something there, Remsen. I don't believe it either. Kent, you'd have to be a Superman to solve a mystery like this one.
Well, you fired me, Mr. White, so I guess I'll have to break this story in another paper.
Oh, no, Mr. Kent, please don't go. Show them you can do it. I believe you.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
Now, wait a minute, Kent. If you can show us how it's done, if you can really make yourself invisible, you can have your job back.
Oh, gee, Mr. Kent, did you hear that? You'll be able to stay with us. You simply gotta do it now.
Oh, I don't know, Jimmy.
Kent, I'll do better than that. I'll raise your salary.
Well, that is an inducement. All right, it's a bet.
Ridiculous. You'll never do it.
You think not, Renson? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll step outside and close the door. Now, when I knock at the door, Jimmy, you open it. And then see what happens.
All right.
Now, don't forget to open the door when I knock.
Don't worry, I won't.
Good. Now, I'll close the door.
I don't see how I can possibly do
Don't
anything.
worry, Miss Lane. He won't. Listen. Jimmy, for heaven's sake, open that door. Well, open it, open it.
Okay, Mr. White. He's not here.
Oh, of course he's not there. Just another trick. He knocked at the door and then skipped off down the corridor.
You're wrong, Chief.
What?
I'm right here in the room with you.
Why?
But you can't see me because, well, you see, I'm invisible.
Say, what is it? I don't believe it. Superman himself couldn't do a thing like this. Kent, was that your voice I heard? Are you really in this room?
I am, Chief. I'm sitting in the chair in front of your desk.
But we can't see you, Clark. Well, it's uncanny.
No, Lois. It's not uncanny. It's just a trick. A trick even I can do. It doesn't take a Superman.
Oh, but gosh, Mr. Kent, how could you make yourself invisible?
Well, Jimmy, to tell the truth, I haven't made myself invisible.
We can't see you.
Well, of course you can't see me. I'm not here.
Kent, before I go crazy, will you make sense? You are here. I can hear you talking to me from the chair in front of my desk.
But merely because I've centered your attention on that chair. But the fact is that although I am invisible, I'm not invisible.
Creepers. Oh, I am going out of my mind. He's invisible, but he isn't invisible. He's here, but he isn't here. Kent, will you, in the name of heaven, explain what this is all about?
Why, gladly, Chief. It's all very simple. So simple, in fact, that I caught on to the trick from the very first.
You mean you've known all along how the invisible man made himself invisible?
I have, but no credit to me. I've known only because some time ago I did a series of articles on oddities in the world. You remember, Chief?
Why, of course I remember. That series you ever did. But what in the world does that to do with...
Excuse me.
Yes, Remsen?
I've got to go. I'm late for an appointment. Very important.
Oh, don't go, Mr. Remsen. This will only take a few minutes.
Yes. Sit down, Remsen.
Well, Chief, as I was saying, you may recall that during that series of articles I did one on the magnificent ventrilo. Remember the celebrated ventriloquist?
Sure, I remember that. Didn't he give you some lessons in ventriloquism, Mr. Kent?
Yes, Jimmy. He did.
What? You mean that the invisible man is...
Exactly, Lois. The invisible man is nothing more than a darn good ventriloquist. I'm not so good myself. I wouldn't be able to fool you very long. But the invisible man is an expert. A master at it.
Oh, where are you now, Kent?
I'll stop throwing my voice and you'll soon see. Now, can you locate me?
His voice seems to be coming from the window now.
That's where it's coming from, all right. Because you see, I'm out here on the fire escape.
Holy mackerel. All the time it sounded like it was right here in the room with us.
Hey, give me a hand in through the window, Jimmy.
Okay.
There. Thanks.
Okay.
All I did, Chief, was to knock on the door, get onto the fire escape through the window that leads off the corridor, and then throw my voice, by means of ventriloquism, into this room.
Well, Kent, I've got to hand it to you.
But who is the invisible man? Do you know the answer to that?
Yes, Lois. I believe I do.
Who?
There must be someone who at all times was able to be near us. You realize, of course, he couldn't be forever ducking onto fire escapes and all the rest of it.
He couldn't have done it that way in the mayor's office. We found you out on the fire escape.
Well, how you got there is really still a mystery.
Well, I've already explained that. Then, Lois, there's the night the invisible man had dinner with us. Actually, he was sitting at another table in disguise and throwing his voice toward our table.
Oh, I see that now.
Why, sure. And the night the presses were almost bombed, he must have been standing near us all the time. In fact, by George, as I see it, he practically always has been with us.
Exactly. So only one person can be the invisible man. It's certainly not you, Chief, or Lois, or me, or Jimmy. So it must be Ralph Remsen.
Why, preposterous, utterly ridiculous.
Better give up quietly, Remsen. If we can't make you talk, the police can. You weren't interested in helping the public. Your game was to squeeze money out of District Attorney Parker.
What?
You made a deal with Parker to protect him against the campaign you yourself had started.
You figured it out very well, Kent. Superman, better be careful or you'll be running him a close second. But all your brain work will do you no good.
What do you mean?
This. Kent, he's got a gun.
Don't point that gun at me. I'm deathly afraid of firearms.
Are you? That's too bad.
Put that gun down, or I'll faint.
Look out, Kent's fainting. He's falling.
What the devil? He's fallen with his arms around my leg. Look here, you. Stand where you are, you others. Oh. Look out, you fool. You're tripping me.
Look, Mr. White, Remsen's falling.
Right, Jimmy. Oh. Well, that's that.
Nice work, Mr. White. They clipped him on the jaw just as he was falling.
Yes, and I've got his gun now, too. It's a good thing you fainted, Kent. If you really did.
Did I faint? But why did
It's all right, Kent. It's all right. Now, you three wait here till I get back. Come on, Remsen. I'm turning you over to the police right now. Go on. Get moving.
Well, we had some excitement there for a while, didn't we? My Lord. Why are you looking at me so funny?
I sometimes wonder about you, Clark Kent. Yes, I really do.
Hi there, Lois.
Clark! Thought I'd never find you in this crowd. Mr. White told me to meet you down here at the Central Railroad Station. What's it all about?
Oh, it's nothing much, Lois. Metropolis National Bank is moving a cargo of $5 million in gold from their vaults upstate to the bank here in the city.
Oh, just another story, eh?
Yeah, it's nothing exciting, I'm afraid. It's bringing the gold down in a specially constructed armored freight car. Burglar-proof and all that.
Oh, I see.
Well, $5 million is a lot of money. They're not taking any chances. Steve said something about there being a special guard of 5 men locked inside the car.
Yes, after the guard got into the train, they sealed the doors. Oh, as I say, it's nothing important. White just wanted us to be on hand to cover the story, that's all. The train's due in a few minutes.
Guess Mr. White wanted to put us on something quiet after all the excitement we've had.
Excitement is right. What with the invisible man and you and White nearly getting killed in that car right at Dead Man's Curve?
Yeah, we certainly did. How did you know that?
Oh, everybody knows about the accident you nearly had.
Yeah, but I never said it happened at Dead Man's Curve. What? I didn't even know that was the name of the place.
Oh, well, White. White mentioned it. That's how I knew.
Oh. Well, I'm certainly glad the case of the invisible man's finished with.
Yeah.
I think both Remsen and Parker deserved what they got.
Yep, 5 to 10 years for Remsen, 20 years for Parker. The grand jury didn't waste any time about it.
Grand juries never do. Hey, the police are out in force today.
Yes, they're not taking any chances with that freight car and the $5 million it's carrying.
Several armored trucks drawn up the platform. Gee, there must be at least a dozen armed guards standing by.
Hello, Kent. Lois.
Oh.
Story?
Yeah. You coming for the Globe, Joan?
Yeah, it's quite a thing. $5 million in gold. The precautions they've taken. Special armored car designed particularly for bringing the gold here.
Yeah, very exciting, I suppose.
Hey, look. Here comes the train now.
Yeah.
Look at that line of freight cars.
Yeah. Car carrying the gold is near the end of the line, I think. Fourth or fifth from the caboose.
Well, we better move down to the other end, then.
Yeah, you're right. See, those armed guards are starting to go down toward that end themselves.
Hey, something seems to be wrong. Look, they're starting to run.
What on earth?
Don't have questions. Come on. I smell trouble in the story. Excuse me, buddy. What's wrong? What's happened?
Who are you?
Reporter from the Daily Planet. Here's my press card. What's up?
It's that freight car. One carrying a $5 million in gold and a crew of 5 guards.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, what happened?
It's disappeared. That's what's happened.
What? Disappeared?
Vanished into thin air.
That is impossible. It was heavily guarded. It was sandwiched in among these other freight cars. How could it possibly have disappeared?
Yeah, I knew that, buddy.
Oh, but you can't just pick up a freight car and walk off with it.
No? Well, it looks like somebody did, lady. Car has disappeared, and so is the crew of armed guards. You
What?
could take it or leave it.
What?
Yes, Lois?
I did a little checking before, just to get some details for our story. And that freight car was still sandwiched in among those other cars when this train pulled out from Bolton.
Yeah?
Bolton's only 20 miles away, and this train never stops between there and here. This thing can't have happened, Clark. No one could have stolen that freight car. It's absolutely impossible.
Well, it looks as if someone has found a way to make it possible, Lois. It also begins to look as if we've got another mystery to solve. Yes, one of the most baffling mysteries we've ever come across.
What is the answer to this seemingly impossible mystery? How could the special armored freight car with a crew of 5 armed men disappear into thin air? See if you can figure it out for yourself. And be sure to listen to the next episode of our mystifying news story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton. Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, possessed of physical powers far beyond those of mortals, and who walks about among ordinary men disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Can a freight car, sandwiched in among 100 others, disappear into thin air on a trip between one station and another? Well, that's the problem Superman is now trying to solve. As Clark Kent, he and Lois were assigned to cover for their paper the arrival of a freight train, bringing with it a specially armored car bearing $5 million in gold. Gold being moved from another city to the National Bank in Metropolis. Our friends reached the railroad terminal just as the train pulled in. And it was at that moment that... But wait. Let's listen.
Train for Calcutta, Big India, Phoenicia, Esopus, West Yokan, Boyceville, leaving on track 4.
Clark, it isn't possible. It simply couldn't happen.
Well, it has happened, Lois.
Well, then will you please explain how? The Metropolis National Bank has a specially armor-plated freight car built. They sandwiched the car in among nearly 100 others. There's an armed crew inside the car, and it's sealed from the outside.
I know, and yet when the train arrives here in Metropolis, the special armored car is missing. Vanished completely.
Along with the crew and $5 million. Clark, it isn't possible.
You did some checking up at Bolton, the last stop the train made?
Yeah, I telephoned the station agent there. Wanted to get a few details on the story we're supposed to write. And he told me he checked that car through when the train made its last stop there.
Well, then if we can believe his story, the freight car must have disappeared between Bolton and Metropolis. Come on, Lois.
Where to?
Have a talk with the engineer. I want to find out definitely whether or not this train stopped between here and Bolton.
Yeah, I'd sort of like to know about that myself.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
You the engineer on this train?
Yes.
My name's Kent, reporter for the Daily Planet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind answering them.
Depends.
Oh, talkative, isn't he?
I'm interested in trying to solve this case for my paper. It'd make a swell story. One thing I'd like to know, did you make any stops between Bolton and here?
Nope.
You didn't stop even once? You didn't get a red signal at some switch-off or anything like that?
Nope.
Well, look, was there anything that struck you as being peculiar about it? Anything on this run that you never noticed on other trips?
Nope.
I see. Well, thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Come on, Lois.
Well, he's a man of few words, Clark, but he certainly said a mouthful. You'd have to be a Superman to solve this case.
Maybe, and maybe not.
Well, we haven't got very far anyway. All we've done is verify the fact that the train did not stop between here and Bolton.
Well, that's a good deal. That's the one point we've got to be sure of above all others. Whether or not this train stopped.
And yet, Clark, if it didn't stop, how on
Wait a
earth...
second, Lois. Here comes Inspector Neely of the police. Hello, Inspector.
Hello, Kent. Miss Lane.
Well, what do you make of that car vanishing so completely, Inspector?
Kent, if I knew the answer to that one, I wouldn't be looking so worried.
Well, there must be some explanation for it.
When you find it, drop me a line. I'll see you later.
He is worried, Clark.
Well, $5 million is a lot of money.
Well, where to now?
Lois, I want to talk to the boys in the caboose, the brakemen.
Say, that's an idea. They ought to know something about this.
Well, let's hope they do.
Yes, Tom?
Hey, I've been lamping that guy and that dame. I found out they're reporters from the Daily Planet.
What about them, From?
Seems to me they're nosing around a little too much, asking too many questions. I'd better get in touch with the boss.
What for?
Well, the boss never lets things get out of hand. Nips them right in the bud.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of waiting till these two really do find out something about the missing freight car, I think he'll want them put out of the way.
Oh.
Now, you wait here, Lispy, and keep an eye on him.
Okay.
I'm going to telephone the boss.
Well, that brakeman didn't have much to tell us either.
No, doggone it. We got no more out of him than we did out of the engineer. I think what we'd better do now is have a talk with the conductor.
No, wait, Clark. See, I don't see where we're going to get... Clark. Now, where has he got to? I've never seen a man who could lose himself as quickly and easily as Clark Kent. He'd lose his head if it weren't tied.
Bolton Station speaking. Yeah, the 432 just went through. Okay. Yes, gentlemen, what can I do for you?
I want to talk with you, pal.
Yeah, I want to talk with you. What about?
I want to talk to you about that freight car that disappeared, pal.
Yeah, about the freight car that disappeared. I don't know anything about that, not a thing. I saw the gold car go through with the freight train, and that's all I know about it.
You got it wrong, pal.
Yeah, you got it wrong.
That gold car wasn't with the freight train. That car had disappeared before the train got here.
Oh, no, that isn't so. You see, I checked that car through personally.
Listen, anybody asks you, like the police, you tell them the car wasn't there.
No, I can't say that. That ain't so. If they ask me, I got to tell the truth.
I don't like to talk too much, pal. You do like I tell you, or won't you?
I can't say that car wasn't there when it was. I can't tell the police.
How can you say it?
No, sir. I ain't going to tell a lie no matter what.
Don't.
Let me have a crack at it.
Keep your hands off that man. Huh? Hey, look, Bill, a masquerade costume.
Yeah, costume.
What have you been doing to this man?
Scram, Tyler, you'll get hurt.
I wouldn't try any rough stuff, boys.
Okay, you're asking for it. Let him have it, Bill.
With the greatest of pleasure. Oh, you lifted Bill right off the floor.
Yes, and now the same goes for you, pal.
Stay away from me. I got a gun. Stand back. Stand back or I'll shoot.
Try it, pal.
Oh, now, blast you. I can't understand it.
Now it's my turn. Here, now.
Oh, put me down. Put me down.
Now, let me see. Shall it be through the door or the window?
No, please.
The window will do, I think.
No.
You can take your friend with you. Well, that's that. And now, my friend.
Who are you?
Don't worry, I won't harm you. What did those men want of you?
That freight car, the one that disappeared.
Yes?
They wanted me to swear it had disappeared before it reached here.
And it hadn't?
No, sir. That car was okay when it reached here. I checked it through myself.
You did, eh? Well, that's all I came here to find out. Thank you and goodbye.
Huh?
Well, I'm sure now that freight train made no stops between here and Metropolis. And I'm also sure that the special gold car disappeared between those two places. That covers a lot of trackage. So there's only one thing to do. Up, up, and away! Understand it. Flown along these tracks between Bolton and Metropolis 3 times and not a single clue. The most baffling mystery I've ever come across. Almost as though some giant hand had reached down and picked up that missing car. Not one single clue. Wait a minute. What's that? Down. Oh, stone from someone's ring, eh? An emerald. Funny. Unless someone dropped it from a passing train. A large emerald. And an expensive one, too. I'll have to try to find the owner. But that'll have to wait. Now, up in the air again. Up, up, and away!
This way.
Oh, hello, Crumb. Did you telephone the boss?
Yeah. He says to get rid of the reporter and his girl.
Gee, Crumb, I don't know. I don't see why we have to kill somebody just because they're asking questions.
Well, the boss thinks people who ask questions now may find out some embarrassing answers later on.
Oh.
He believes in getting rid of them quick.
Yeah.
Hey. I just see the girl. Where's the guy?
Oh, I lost him in the crowd, Crumb. We can pick him up later. What's he going to do with the girl?
Well, I figured that out on my way over here.
Yeah?
Now, listen, the 941 is due in on track 6 in just a few minutes.
Uh-huh.
I'll manage to get the girl over to the platform of track 6. We'll stand there talking. You come up behind us, and just as the 941 comes in, you shove her in front of it. Get me?
Yes, I get you. When the 941 comes in, I shove her in front of it.
Yeah. Excuse me, miss.
Yes?
You're a reporter for the Daily Planet, ain't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I got a story for you about this missing freight train, if you care to hear it.
I certainly would.
Well, would you mind coming over to platform 6 with me? I'll tell you there.
Okay. Hey, wait a minute. Why do we have to go over to platform 6?
Well, you see, I promised to meet a friend who's coming in on the 941. I don't want to miss him. So, if you don't mind...
Well, if I want that story, I guess I haven't any choice in the matter.
Okay, then. Just let's move over to platform 6. I'll tell you all about it on the 941, you'll see.
941 arriving on track 6. 941 on track 6. 941 arriving on track 6.
Lois Lane is in grave danger. How will Superman save her? And by the way, have you solved the mystery of how the freight car vanished into thin air? Then be sure to hear the next thrilling episode of our story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look, it's a plane. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett. Hey, Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett. Space Cadet. Aboard a giant passenger spaceship rocketing toward the planet Venus, Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning have solved the murder of Barton Reed, a representative from the ruling council of Venus. Now, with Nestor Deegan, a former suspect, they make their way down the companionways of the ship to the jet boat deck, where the assassin is being held prisoner in one of the airlocks.
I still can't get over it. Who would have thought a beautiful space doll like Alexandra Stone knocked off Barton Reed?
She's a very clever and unscrupulous woman, Cadet Manning.
Yeah, she almost had us believing you were guilty, Mr. Deegan.
Go on, not me, Tom. I had her pegged from the minute I saw her.
But, Cadet Manning, you just said...
Don't pay any attention to him, Mr. Deegan. Roger always knows everything after it's happened.
Oh, I do, huh? Well, listen here, you little space nut.
Have your tubes, Roger. This is the jet boat deck. Now, let's collect our prisoner. Which airlock was she caught in, Mr. Deegan?
Number 3, port side. When I warned the captain about her, he sealed the outer portal.
Neat little trap.
Sure glad it worked. She's got plenty of explaining to do.
Oh, there's Baxter, the flight engineer. He's been waiting for you, I guess.
Uh-huh. Right in front of airlock 3.
Congratulations, Cadet. You did a very neat job with that time bomb. Skipper asked me to tell you he was notifying Commander Arkwright of your good work.
Well, thank you, sir.
I hope it makes up for the way we used his orders.
What then?
Nothing, sir. How about the prisoner? Can we talk to her?
Talk to her?
Yeah, she's going to tell us why she murdered Barton Reed.
This is very important, Mr. Baxter. There's a dangerous plot against the Council of Venus, and she's the only one who can tell us who's behind it.
You've got to let us talk to her.
I would, Cadet Corbett, only...
Only what?
Well, I thought you knew. She tried to escape. Climbed out of the jet boat to open the outer airlock portal by manual control.
She what?
She forgot the airlock pressure was high. When she opened the portal, she was pulled out into space. Alexandra Stone is dead.
Find anything yet, Roger?
No, not a blasted thing. Except that doll sure wore some classy clothes.
No, forget the clothes. We need something important.
Okay.
Corbett, if we don't find anything here in Alexandra Stone's compartment, if we don't get a clue to the identity of her masters, the ruling council of Venus is doomed.
Look, Mr. Deacon, what's this all about, anyway? And how do you fit in? Who are you, anyway?
I think you deserve to know, Corbett, especially after what you and Manning have done. I am a special operative for the Council of Venus. I was assigned to guard Barton Reed on his flight to Earth.
Oh?
Yes, I know what you're thinking. I didn't do a very good job of it. But then I didn't know of his plans to switch uniforms with Manning when he first arrived.
I see. But why did Barton Reed come to Earth in the first place?
To get help from the Solar Guard in stopping a revolution that threatens Venus.
A revolution?
Yes. We don't know who the leaders are, and we don't know when it will begin. But undoubtedly it will be soon. If we could only find out who these men are and where they will strike, we can be ready for them.
But how can a revolution succeed? The Solar Guard will throw everything into the fight.
These men are looking for a quick victory before the Solar Guard can even organize a defense.
Hey, Tom, Mr. Deacon, I got something, I think.
What is it?
Well, let's see, Roger.
This scrap of paper.
It was folded in a locket the doll had. Found it by accident in a jewelry case.
Oh, funny. All it says is Atmosphere Station 5.
Yeah. Now, why should she keep something like this in a locket?
Mean anything to you, Mr. Deacon?
No, except an atmosphere station is a vital part of life on Venus. Without them, we could never survive.
Hey, you think those jokers behind the revolution intend to knock off the station?
No, impossible.
I don't see why, Mr. Deacon. The maintenance crews certainly wouldn't expect an attack. They'd be helpless.
Well, perhaps you're right.
Tom, as soon as we land, we better see what gives at that station.
For once, you're right.
No, you cadets have done enough. You must return to Earth now.
Oh, no. We didn't come this far to quit now.
But it may be very dangerous.
It hasn't been exactly clear sailing up to now. No, Mr. Deegan. We're following through all the way.
Very well, just as you wish, Cadet Corbett. But remember one thing. In dealing with these revolutionists, failure means death.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, today you're going to hear a very important message from Commander Arkwright. Now, Commander Arkwright put this message on the telerecorder system with special instructions that you hear him at this time. Commander Arkwright.
As the Commandant of Space Academy, it is my responsibility to see that only the best young men are permitted to become Space Cadets. Each year, I have personally checked the records to make sure every cadet is in his best possible physical condition. In questioning these young men, I have noticed one outstanding fact. In every case, the men who appeared to be the best choices were young men who were careful to eat good, nourishing foods. Now, one of these good foods is Kellogg's Pep. Pep is a 100% whole wheat cereal. And in addition to getting all the advantages of wheat in Kellogg's Pep, you also get a full day's supply of needed vitamin D in every serving. Besides vitamin D, Pep also gives you vitamin B1. So take my advice. To help get yourself in the kind of condition to meet the standards of Space Academy, eat Kellogg's Pep. You will find it's a fine tasting cereal as well as a nourishing one. End transmission.
Well, there you are, Spaceman, right from Commander Arkwright. For built-up food values and a delicious malty-rich flavor, ask your mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Scattered over the surface of Venus at intervals of 2,000 miles are immense towering structures of gleaming metal and permaglass. These are the atmosphere stations, the lungs of the misty planet, supplying its inhabitants with breathable air. Now, Tom and Roger have arrived at Station 5 and toured the installation with the commanding officer, Captain Bridges.
We're standing on the control platform now, cadets. It's the nerve center of the atmosphere station. We're 100 feet above the floor. From this panel, we can regulate every phase of operations. The men you see working below are the maintenance crew.
Wow, it's a long way down, Captain Bridges.
Yes, and it's an even longer way up, if you'll notice. Above us is the output tower. The manufactured air is pumped out into the space surrounding Venus at the rate of 8 million cubic feet per minute.
Well, how do you manufacture the air?
From the original atmosphere. It's taken apart to make free oxygen and free nitrogen, leaving hydrogen, which escapes into space. We hold the oxygen by freezing it, and we move it through these pipes over here into large combine chambers where normal Earth atmosphere is created.
A little sabotage around here, and the people of Venus would be in a mess of trouble.
Yes, indeed, Cadet Manning. And from what you've told me, we'll have to be prepared. I've already doubled the guard, and I'm making a thorough check on every man in the crew.
Isn't there anything that can be done at these stations or sabotaged?
Yes. We're preparing the old cities.
The old cities?
That's right, Corbett. The first colonists on Venus built cities under huge glass domes. They still exist. Several of them are being secretly restored, just in case of emergency.
Great jumping Jupiter, what happened?
One of the oxygen pipes is broken.
Well, that one over there, look, the stuff is pouring out. Let's get out of here.
Close your eyes, both of you, or they'll be frozen.
But how can we see?
Keep your hands on the guardrail. Follow it to the emergency stairs.
Oh, before it's too late. Here's the inspection report on that accident this morning, Corbett. Care to see it?
Yes, please, Captain Bridges. Uh-huh. I'm not surprised.
How about letting me in on it, Tom?
Well, listen, this is the last paragraph, Roger. In conclusion, close examination of the oxygen feed pipe clearly revealed the break could not have occurred through structural failure.
You don't have to read any more, pal. The answer is sabotage.
Exactly.
But not a very effective form of sabotage, boys.
What do you mean, sir?
Well, if somebody wanted to really knock out the station, he wouldn't have done it that way.
All we had to do was shut off the oxygen supply.
But what about the way the stuff poured out?
It still wouldn't cause too much damage. Unless there was an open fire around, wouldn't even harm personnel. Not where the break occurred, anyway.
It almost got us, didn't it?
Exactly.
Hey, now I know what you're driving at, sir. Somebody was laying for us.
Right.
Oh, brother, here we go again. Sir, do you have any idea who might have done it?
We suspect a man named Ford. He's only been working here at the station for 2 months, and he disappeared right after the accident.
Well, that's something of a lead. Suppose we try to find this joker. Suits me fine. Let's see if he can take it as well as he dishes it out. Right. We'll check with you later, Captain.
All right, Corbett. But watch yourselves, both of you. It looks like you're a couple of important targets.
Hello? Hello, this is Ford reporting.
It's about time. Where have you been?
Hiding out. They're looking for me.
Of course they are. You're a bungler, Ford. An incredible bungler. Not only did you fail to remove the cadets, but you disappeared from your job at the atmosphere station and called attention to yourself.
But I knew there would be an investigation.
Exactly why you should have stayed. Now you've alerted the guards of future sabotage, and you'll make our whole scheme more difficult.
But there was nothing else I could do.
You could have used your head. No matter now. The important thing is those cadets. They've got to be put out of the way. They've done nothing but snoop around since they arrived, probing into everything. They're dangerous. Ford?
Yes?
I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself.
What do you want me to do?
I've no doubt that Corbett and Manning are looking for you. You make it easy for them to catch you.
Catch me, but they'll...
They won't do anything to you. They're interested in bigger fish. By showing just the right degree of reluctance and resistance, you can lead them here. After that, I'll take care of them. In my own manner.
Well, we're doing real great, Tom. 2 days since we started looking for Ford, not a sign of him.
Feather your jets, Roger. We'll find him. As a matter of fact, he'll come to us.
What makes you so sure?
Hourly transmissions are being made by telespeaker, asking all Solar Guard stations on Venus to be on the lookout for Ford. The revolutionary group he's tied up with is sure to intercept those transmissions.
So what?
So this. They'll send Ford to us.
You're space happy.
Not at all. They'll want to find out exactly how much we know before they get rid of us. They'll want to find out if the Solar Guard is preparing any kind of defense. And we'll be just the ones to tell them.
Go on. I still think you're space happy.
I am, eh? Well, I'll bet you a new uniform. That's Ford now.
It's a bet.
Okay. Open the door.
Furthermore, if it's Ford, I'll polish your boots for a year.
I'm looking for Cadet Corbett or Cadet Manning.
I'm Manning.
My name is Ford. I understand you've been looking for
Great, jolly.
Come in, Mr. Ford. I've been expecting you. Start reaching for that boot polish, Roger.
Okay.
You're Cadet Corbett?
That's right.
I came here to see if I could make a deal with you two.
What sort of a deal?
I've been mixed up in something pretty dangerous here on Venus. I'm not my own master. Because of my past, I'm forced to work for men who would stop at nothing.
Including getting rid of us.
Yes. You see, they want to take over this planet and establish a government of their own. I didn't bargain for that.
So you want out. Is that it?
I want my record cleared and all charges against me dropped. If you can arrange that, I'll identify all the leaders of this revolutionary movement.
Well, that isn't up to us.
But you'll put in a good word for me, won't you? You'll tell the Solar Guard I helped you?
Sure, if you do.
Fair enough. Now, we'll have to move fast. They plan to strike tonight against the atmosphere station.
How much time have we got?
Less than 2 hours.
Okay. I'll call headquarters and warn them right away.
No, not yet, Corbett.
Why not?
I don't know which station they're going to hit. And it would be foolish to concentrate a defense around one and have the enemy attack another.
That adds up, Tom. There aren't enough men to guard them all.
But still,
As soon as we find out which one is the target, you can contact headquarters by space radio. There'll still be time.
We're wasting what little time we've got. Come on, Tom. On the ball.
Say, listen, Ford. How much farther do we have to go in this jet boat?
Be there in another minute, Corbett.
Hey, Tom, he's taking us pretty far away from Venusport, and we've only got 45 minutes left.
Yeah, I know, Roger.
Think he's on the level?
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to play along.
Where's he taking us, anyway?
The headquarters of the whole revolutionary movement.
Oh, yeah? What are we going to do there? Take on the whole bunch of them, the two of us?
No, we're just going in to see who the leaders are and find out where they're going to attack first. Then we contact headquarters.
We're going in, huh? Just like that, I suppose. Maybe they'll invite us to have tea.
Now, wait a minute, will you? We'll be wearing spacesuits. Everyone will look alike.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so?
Corbett, Manning, better put your suits on now. You're going to land.
Right. Hurry up, Roger.
Yeah, all the time, hurry. One of these days, we're going to hurry ourselves right into the grave.
Some installation here. All those characters outside are armed to the teeth.
Yes, with heat rays. Once those men are turned loose against the atmosphere stations...
You don't have to say it, Tom. The crews won't have a chance unless we warn them in time.
Down this tunnel now, Corbett.
We're right behind you, Ford.
When are we going to catch up with the leaders of this mob?
The inner chamber where the final plans for attack are being made is down at the end of this tunnel. I'll take you into the chamber next to it, and you'll be able to hear everything there.
Good.
As soon as we get the information we need, we'll beat it back to the jet boat and alert headquarters.
Yes, that is the best plan, Corbett.
Hey, Tom, I was just thinking, wouldn't it be something if we brought in the leaders ourselves?
Now, don't get any big ideas, pal. One thing at a time.
Okay. It was just an idea.
Hey, get a load of these pipes along the tunnel. They look familiar to you?
Oh, yeah, just like the pipes at the atmosphere stations, the ones that carried liquid oxygen.
This installation is a small-scale atmosphere station. The leaders planned well. When they knock out the ones on the surface, they'll be protected down here.
Oh, brother, what an operation.
Quietly now. That portal at the end of the tunnel opens into the main chamber where the meeting is taking place. You two go in here. Wait, I'll open the portal.
Hey, pretty dark in there.
I'll switch on the light as soon as we're inside. Go on now.
Come on, Tom. Let's get this over with. Which way, Ford?
Just stand where you are, Corbett.
Hey, who's that?
There. You recognize me in the light, Manning?
Deegan. What in the universe are you doing here?
This is where I belong, Manning. And I must say, you don't look very surprised, Corbett.
Frankly, Deegan, I'm not.
Hey, will somebody please tell me what gives around here?
That's pretty simple, Roger. Our friend Nestor Deegan is the real leader of the revolution.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, spaceman, do you want a cereal that helps you to build strong bones and muscles? Do you want a cereal that gives you food energy for a quick morning blast-off? Well, then, you want Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir. That's the super space cereal that's a breakfast-time favorite from here to Neptune. And, mister, the first time you sit down to a bowl full of Kellogg's Pep, you'll know why. What a flavor. Why you won't settle for less than second helpings. And just remember, at the same time you're enjoying the taste of Pep, you'll be taking on Sunshine Vitamin D and Vitamin B1. You'll be taking on top-notch food energy, too. Food energy to help you blast off for a busy day. All the cadets here at Space Academy eat plenty of Kellogg's Pep every morning. So, if you want to start your day the way Tom, Astro, Roger, and all the fellas do, you eat Pep, too. Ask your mom to start serving Kellogg's Pep tomorrow morning. Rustle lots of Pep into your cereal bowl. Pour on the milk. Sprinkle some sugar and dig in. When you taste Pep, you want to start every day the spaceman's way with Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Led into the secret headquarters of the revolutionary movement on Venus, Tom and Roger find Nestor Deegan waiting for them triumphantly. But Tom shows little surprise, and as he holds them at the point of a heat ray gun, Deegan questions the cadets.
So you knew I was the leader of the revolution, eh, Corbett?
I didn't know that, but I was sure you were tied up in it somehow.
You're very well informed. Who talked?
You did, Deegan.
Me?
Yes, back in Alexandra Stone's compartment on the passenger ship. When you told us you were guarding Barton Reed.
Well?
You said you didn't know of his plans to switch uniforms with Roger, which meant that you really did know, because nobody ever mentioned that to you or anybody else.
You just kept toying with us, helping us search Alexandra Stone's compartment to find out if she left any clues behind.
Hey, that's right. You were the only one who knew we were going to Atmosphere Station 5, and that's where Ford tried to get us.
Well, very clever of you boys.
But if they knew all this, why did they come here with me?
To nail everything down, get proof.
And what are you going to do with it?
I don't have to do anything. Captain Bridges and a detachment of the Solar Guard will be here in 10 minutes to clean out this nest of rats.
What? Oh, did anyone follow you?
No, I swear.
You're wrong, pal. You were followed by tracer beam. Here. You see this belt communicator? It's wide open, sending out a steady signal. You hear? Captain Bridges has been following this signal with his tracer. He knows exactly where we are.
Ford, get that. Destroy it.
Yes, sir. There.
Thanks, Ford. You just gave the final signal.
What do you mean?
The minute the signal stopped, Captain Bridges knew that we were at your headquarters. So now he'll close in.
Why, you...
Sir, we've got to get out of here.
All right. Stand over there against that wall, both of you.
What are you going to do?
You'll find out. Now stay there.
Sure, Deegan. We've got all the time in the world.
Oh, no, you haven't, Corbett. Ford.
Yes, sir.
I want you to get every man out of here. Tell the unit commander to begin the attack.
But it's not time.
Tom, we gotta do something fast. Deacon's sure to burn us down with that heat ray of his.
I know. Now get this. There's an oxygen pipe connection right behind me.
So?
I'm opening it.
Great galaxy.
Shut up and listen. The stuff is leaking out right now, and it'll turn to vapor fast. When Deegan fires that ray, the oxygen will ignite. There'll be an explosion.
And what happens to us?
We'll have to take our chances. And we'll have to move fast to duck that ray. Now drop when he fires.
Okay.
Let me know when you're finished, huh? All right, now, you two.
Get ready.
Your interference has endangered my plans, but if I move fast enough, there's a chance for success.
Not much, Junior.
You certainly won't know about it. Hey, what's that noise?
I don't hear anything.
The oxygen. You've opened the valve. Why, you...
Look, Roger!
I'll fry you.
Stay down, Roger! Stay down! The oxygen is igniting!
Well, cadets, looks like you both had real spaceman's luck.
I'll say we did, Captain Bridges.
Just a few burns, that's all. Deegan really got the full force of the blast.
Will he pull through, sir?
Yes, although I'm sure he'd rather not. Life on the prison asteroid is no bed of roses. Oh, by the way, I got an audiogram from Commander Arkwright.
Uh-oh, I'm afraid of this.
How many demerits do we get?
Well, in view of what you did, he's willing to forget the whole thing.
Is that all? No medals?
Medals?
Roger, I'll settle for this any time.
Not me. Why, after all the detective work I put in...
You put in?
Sure. Didn't I tell you back at the beginning that Deegan was our man? But no, you wouldn't listen to me. I talk and talk, but you never even...
Cadet Manning.
Yes, sir?
Haven't you wondered why Corbett never told you about using the tracer beam to locate Deegan's headquarters?
Yeah, I have.
It's just because you talk and talk. So suppose you do something about your mouth right now, eh?
Yeah, Roger. Like cramming the other foot into it, too.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris receives sudden orders to blast off for Titan to take part in a mission of mercy. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Peter Capell, and William Keane. Today's program was written by Elwood Hoffman, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin brand has a secret.
This program came to you from New York. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the island of Pelota in the South Seas, and an exciting tale of the strangest bargain ever made, as we bring you Letter from Jason, adapted from George F. Worth's famous story, Sunk.
No, John. My mind's made up, and all your eloquence won't change it. You'll understand why when you hear this letter I got today. A letter from Jason. Yes, at last. Listen to this, John. Dearest Ellen, he writes. After the terrible things I did and said to you that last night, there seemed to me to be only one way out. I had failed you as a husband. I had failed the baby as a father. There wasn't anything I hadn't failed at, excepting booze. I was a great success in a saloon. But this is no news to you. You might, however, be interested in what happened after I walked out on you that night. Well, actually, I don't remember much of the night. But the next morning, when I woke up in a rooming house south of the slot, I remembered enough. I knew I couldn't go back, and I didn't see any point of going on. But I even failed as a suicide. Somebody smelled gas and called the police. When I came to in the receiving hospital, Uncle Jeffrey was there.
Well, Jason, you've sunk pretty low.
Oh, go away and leave me alone.
You must have been drunk to find the courage to try suicide.
I don't ever really get drunk anymore. I just drink.
It's scarcely news. What about your wife and child?
You're suddenly very solicitous.
No, I never approved of your marriage, but you're still my brother's son. Why did you try to do this?
Money. A couple of other things, but money principally.
Your father left you plenty of money, too much for your own good.
Now it's gone.
Of course it's gone.
I'm over my years in debt.
How much do you owe?
More than I could pay back in a year, and some of them won't wait. There's a bookie in Sacramento Street.
How much?
More than $3,000.
Why didn't you come to me for it?
Would you have given it to me?
You know I wouldn't.
Why, you're getting a big kick out of this, aren't you, Uncle? Get out. Get out.
Jason, you misunderstand me. I didn't come here for fun. I came on business.
What?
Yes, I came to offer you a job.
Oh, that's funny. That's a great big laugh.
No, I'm serious. On the way over here, I did a lot of thinking. Since you're ready to die anyway, perhaps I can arrange it in a way to provide for your wife and child. Yes, and pay your debts.
Oh.
You know where I spent my youth?
Yes. Poaching pearls in the South Seas with my father.
Really, Jason? That's an ungrateful conclusion and unkind to the memory of your father. We were traders, honest traders. But there were others not so honest. There were killers down there in those days. There's one in particular who crossed me several times and is still alive. His name is Jake Finch.
What the devil are you talking about?
A business deal, Jason. I want Jake Finch killed. Since your life doesn't mean anything to you, you might as well take the job.
Me? Kill a man?
That's right. This morning, you tried to kill yourself for nothing. I'm offering you a chance to kill and be paid for it.
How much?
Your debts. And $25,000 to your wife after Finch is dead.
It's a lot of money.
It's worth it to me to see Finch dead. Well,
And after I've killed him, what then?
Helen is provided for.
And me.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Where is this man?
He lives on the island of Pelota, 3 weeks' sail from Tahiti.
How romantic.
Not at all. He's a dangerous, treacherous killer. You're going to have to meet him face to face. He's lived too long to be caught off guard.
What makes you think I'll have the guts to kill him?
I'll be along to see that you do.
What?
Yes, and to see that my name is not connected with the matter. If you kill him, it will be in self-defense.
So I've sunk pretty low, have I, Uncle? What about you?
That's neither here nor there. Do you want the job?
No. But I'll take it for Ellen's sake.
Yes, John, I know it sounds incredible, but don't be so hasty in your judgment. The letter from Jason goes on. I suppose if I hadn't been foggy with booze and gas fumes, I would never have accepted such a dreadful proposition, even though it meant security for you. But once I agreed, Uncle Jeffrey wasted no time. He paid my debt and sent you that $1,000 check as an advance on my murder fee. And in less than 24 hours, we were slipping through the Golden Gate bound for Tahiti. It wasn't any different aboard ship. They have bars, too, and wonderful brandy, French cognac. I was really enjoying life, a cruise to the South Seas, all expenses paid. And then, the fourth day out, Uncle Jeffrey came into my cabin as I was breakfasting on a brandy milk.
Good morning, Uncle. Everything ship-shape topside?
Jason, it's time we got down to business.
Oh, sure. Anything you say.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure. Go ahead, Uncle.
Here. You better get used to the feel of this.
A gun? Is it loaded?
Naturally. Pick it up.
It's heavy.
Yes, it's a .45. Tear a hole in a man the size of a silver dollar.
Never held a gun in my hand before.
Aim it. There, at your reflection in the mirror. What's the matter, Jason? Your hand's shaking. You're perspiring.
I can't.
You must. Remember, if you want your wife to get that money, you'll have to kill Jake Finch, not just try to kill him.
I need a drink. I need a drink bad.
Poor mixed-up Jason. That was his solution for every problem, his answer to every challenge. I need a drink. He goes on to say, we arrived in Papeete, in Tahiti, on a Wednesday afternoon, but Uncle Jeffrey was in a hurry. He had chartered an island schooner, the Lorelei, and she was to sail at dawn the next morning for Pelota and Jake Finch. But at least I would have one evening ashore, and I intended to have it alone.
Well, see you later, Uncle Jeffrey.
Where are you going?
Sightseeing, one enchanted evening, that sort of thing.
Now, you wait till I get this luggage transferred to the schooner, and I'll go with you.
What's the matter? Afraid I'm going to get drunk?
I know you are.
That's where you're wrong. Got to stop sometime. I made up my mind I quit when we got to Tahiti, so I quit.
I don't believe you. You're drunk right now.
That's what you think. I'm not drunk, Uncle Jeffrey. I'm sick. I'm sick of the sight of you.
We still have a long way to go together.
I know. Let's understand each other right now. I hate your guts. It's perfectly clear that you hate mine. I made a bargain with you. I'll go through with it, for Ellen's sake. Weren't for her, I'd use that gun on you instead of Jake Finch.
Good. I'm glad that we understand each other so clearly.
I'll see you later.
Be aboard the Lorelei at midnight.
Don't worry, I'll be there.
I'm sure you will, Jason.
Papeete, the letter goes on, is not the South Sea paradise we dream of back home. Unpaved streets, miserable natives, provincial French colonists, but plenty of bars. I avoided them. I headed for the big hotel and a table on the terrace. Take away the palm trees and the French accent, and it was about as exotic as the commercial house in Sioux City.
Monsieur désire quelque chose à boire?
Oh, what did you say?
Oh, je m'excuse. Would Monsieur like something to drink? An aperitif, perhaps? Cézanne? Dubonnet?
Oh, no, thank you. Just tea. Garçon!
Oui, monsieur?
My check, please.
Tout de suite, monsieur.
No, that tea, that's pretty vile stuff.
Was there something wrong, monsieur? It is the very best Oolong.
Oh, no, I guess it was all right for tea.
Oui, monsieur. Voilà, monsieur.
Here you are. I keep the change.
Oh, merci beaucoup.
Oh, say, tell me, what's a good place for dinner?
Oh, ici, monsieur. The hotel has the best cuisine in Papiété.
But it's a little quiet, don't you think?
Peut-être. Then I should commend monsieur to chez Tante Marguerite, or the Southern Cross. At the Southern Cross, there are the girls.
Oh. Then I'll go to Marguerite's.
And with the dinner, monsieur desires to drink?
Water.
Water?
Yeah, just water.
But if monsieur will permit, we have a proverb in my native Normandie. Un repas sans vin est comme un jour sans soleil.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand French that well.
A meal without wine is like a day without sun.
Oh.
And surely with the cuisine of Tante Marguerite, one must not drink just water. Besides, the water in Papiété is not safe. I myself have lived here more than 20 years, and never have I tasted the Papiété water. Oh, no. I would recommend wine, monsieur. I urge it. With the langouste, a dry sauterne, monsieur.
Oh, well. Well, very well. A small bottle, then.
Monsieur has eaten well?
Oh, yes, thank you.
And now perhaps liqueur?
No, I really don't.
Permit me to offer it, monsieur. As you say, on the house.
Well, no, that isn't
Cointreau, Chartreuse, Cognac?
Cognac. Oh, it's an excellent dinner, madame. An excellent liqueur, and the world begins to look all right again.
Of course it does, monsieur. Of course it does.
Now, madame, tell me. You know of a place here in Papiété called, the Southern Cross?
And who does not, monsieur?
Tell me how to get there, will you? Charlie! Get that?
Oh, yes, mister. You like maybe something, huh?
Oh, yeah, another cognac.
Oh, yes, sir. You like cognac maybe, so help yourself.
Oh, sure, I like it. That's the best thing the French do, big cognac.
Oh, look out. You're spilling it.
I'm trying not to. Can't you see? I'm trying to hold it steady.
You're not so steady yourself.
Why can't I hold it steady? It's like the gun. I can't hold the gun steady either. How can I shoot straight if I don't hold it steady?
All the same. Whiskey, gun. You can't go steady with both.
You go steady with me.
Oh. Well, hello, baby.
You are alone?
Yeah, I'm alone.
It is not good to be alone too much.
Oh, I don't mind.
You like me to keep you company.
I don't mind.
You have cigarettes for me?
Yeah,
hey,
sure,
mate, what's the big idea of knowing this lady?
Annoy it? What do you mean? This little...
Watch your language.
Now, look, here, I'm sitting here minding my own business.
Well, now you're minding mine. Now, scram.
Well, I got as much right...
Are you looking for trouble?
Well, no. But it seems to me you are.
You little jerk. Okay, boys, carry him out. Nice work, sister. Here's your 100 francs.
Thank you, Captain Steve. You want me to make change?
Not now. Some other time. I got work to do now.
I know, John. It's the same old pattern. How well I know it. The promises and the failures. Anything could start him slipping. A glass of wine, the brandy sauce on the mince pie. Yes, or the sniff of the cork, if you like. But listen to Jason's letter. He goes on. The next thing I knew, I was in a narrow bed, in a creaking, rocking room, and I didn't feel well, darling, not well at all. I had the world's worst hangover.
Oh.
Good morning, Jason.
Oh, Uncle Jeff, where am I?
Aboard the Lorelei. 5 hours out of Papeete.
Oh.
Bad night?
Yeah, I guess so.
Looks like you were in a fight.
I was. I don't remember anything afterward. How'd I get on board?
You were delivered at my instruction.
What do you mean?
My captain brought you aboard. I want you to meet him. Captain?
Yes, Mr. Sheldon?
Come in. I want you to meet my nephew, Jason Torrance.
How do you do, sir?
Why, you... We've already met, Uncle. This is the man who knocked me out.
I know, according to my instructions. That'll be all, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Well, you're a...
Save your breath,
the
Jason.
dirtiest...
Your head will only ache more if you get excited. I'm not trying to hide anything from you. Captain Steve is a tough guy, but not nearly as tough. Not half as quick or strong or hard to kill as Jake Finch. And he tells me you never even hit back.
Object lesson, huh?
That's right. You've already cost me a lot of money, and I want my money's worth. You're no good to me, drunk, or to yourself, or to your wife and child. Suppose you'd gotten in a real brawl in that saloon last night, or you could have been killed. And where would your wife and kid be? But believe me, I won't pay off until you kill Jake Finch.
I do believe you. I believe you let Ellen and the kid starve before you'd help them.
I would, Jason. You can be sure of that. Unless you kill Jake Finch.
All right, Uncle. I'm on the wagon from now on.
Oh, it's easy to say. When you're still going on last night's booze.
I mean it. I've taken my last drink.
I wonder, Jason. I wonder.
After he had left the cabin with that sneer on his face, Jason writes, I lay there hopeless and nearly helpless. For I knew now if I was to be helped at all, I would have to help myself. So I pulled my aching frame out of the bunk, and head throbbing and tongue thick, I climbed up onto the deck and faced the captain.
Well, Mr. Torrance, you had a nice long nap, huh?
Yeah, thanks to you. You got any work for me?
Work?
Yeah. You know, something to do. I want to get busy.
Well, now, there's always work aboard a sailing vessel. Know how to hold a stone a deck?
Does it take a college degree?
No. But you'll need something else. Muscles and guts.
Who said it gets easier day by day? Jason writes. It didn't for me. I was stiff and sore from using muscles that had never been used before. And the only thing I wanted was a drink. Just one drink to ease the pain. But I knew I'd never stop with one. It got tighter and tighter inside me, and there had to be a breaking point. And then on the 10th day out, the captain sent me up to secure a block on the mainmast. The sea was kicking up a little, and when I was 15 feet above the deck, the schooner lurched suddenly. I lost my grip and fell. I grabbed at the shroud, and it bit into the skin of my palms, and I hit the deck and lay there for a moment, shaking with fear, knowing that this was the end of my fight. Then I got to my feet, ran down to the galley, and opened the cabinet where I knew the captain kept his brandy.
Having a little nip, Jason?
Yes! I'm through. You rotten bargain, you Jake Finch, and you're...
Through with Ellen and the baby. Through with keeping your word. Back where you started from. A gas-filled room, trying to commit suicide. Well, go ahead. What are you waiting for? You've got the bottle in your hand. Go ahead. Take your drink.
Shut up.
What are you waiting for, Jason?
Shut up.
Just remember, Jason, one drink will finish you. Jake Finch will kill you, and Ellen won't get the money. I'm a businessman, Jason. I made a bargain. Don't think I'm going to renege. I didn't want you to marry Ellen in the first place, remember? She won't get a penny from me when you die. Remember that. Be careful, Jason. You're trembling so, you might drop the bottle. Maybe you do need to drink, Jason. Think it over. It's an easy way out. And I won't embarrass you by staying and watching.
Murderer! You touch it, Drake. I won't touch it. I'll show you. I'll show you.
And then suddenly it grew a little easier. Not taking that drink was the turning point, I guess. The crying out inside, the need for liquor, grew slowly quieter. My muscles began to toughen. My whole body began to feel better, more alive. And the first time in years, I enjoyed eating. And I was learning to be a pretty good sailor. I began to get a kick out of the neat way the schooner handled, the clean feeling of the sea air, the wonder of just feeling good. And with this change, I slowly began to realize what kind of a bargain I had made. I didn't want to kill anyone. No, not for any reason. Not now, when I felt sure I could start my life over again.
You've made a bargain, and you'll stick to it.
I'm not the same now. I'm in good health. I'm strong. I can get a job and really take care of Ellen and the baby.
You should have thought of that before.
Well, I'm thinking about it now. I can't just deliberately go out and kill a man. I'm not going to go through with it.
All right, we anchor at Pelota tomorrow. If you refuse to carry out your end of our bargain, I'll put you off the schooner and leave you there. You won't see a ship for more than 6 months. And when it does come, you'll have sunk lower than you've ever been. You won't have passage money back to San Francisco. You'll die in Pelota. And Ellen won't see a penny of that $25,000.
You do that?
In a second.
But I'll pay you back the money you lent me.
I'm not interested in that. I want Finch killed. Believe me, he has it coming to him.
I don't care what he's done to you. I'm not going to go through with it.
Not only what he's done to me, Jason. I didn't want to tell you before. I never told you how your father died.
No, you never did.
Jake Finch killed him, Jason. Jake Finch killed your father.
Jason's letter continues. So you see, Ellen, what a diabolically clever scoundrel Uncle Jeffrey is. The last straw was that stuff about my father. I don't know whether he's lying or not, but it just might be true. And so this man who is playing God with my life has added the final motive for murder: vengeance. We're approaching the island of Pelota now, Ellen, and I have no other course but to find Jake Finch and kill him, or be killed by him. What a crying shame that I couldn't have found myself before this, for I know now what a wonderful life we might have had together. I hope you will find it with someone else, for you deserve better than I ever gave you. We're dropping anchor now, and I must go.
Well, there she is, Jason. Pelota, one of the loveliest islands in the Pacific.
A perfect setting for a murder.
Yes, isn't it? Feel up to it?
Don't worry about me. Where do I find Finch?
Everybody on the island knows him. Anyone can tell you where to find him. Try the traders or the bar. Good luck.
Aren't you coming?
Oh, no. Remember, I don't want to be connected with Jake Finch's death in any way. It's your affair now, not mine.
Yellow all the way through, aren't you, Uncle? Yellow and rich enough to hire thugs and murderers to do your dirty work. I ought to kill you instead of Finch. I'm coming, Captain.
Kill Finch first, Jason. And you have my permission to kill me.
Good day to you, sir. Good day. Put in for supplies, have you?
No.
Well, we've got everything a trim little schooner like yours would be needing.
Look, can you tell me where I can find Jake Finch?
Jake Finch? What do you want with him?
Well, that's my business. Where is he?
I couldn't say exactly. He might be down on the beach this time of day.
Thank you. Oh, friend.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I wasn't sure. Ain't been called friend in 20 years. What can I do for you, stranger?
I'm looking for Jake Finch.
Well, don't look at me. I ain't him.
Where can I find him?
Look here, mister. If this is your idea of a joke, it ain't funny to me.
I'm sorry. I'm simply looking for Jake Finch.
Well, look somewhere else. Look for him in a bar. That's the likeliest place to find Jake Finch.
What'll it be? I got the finest brandy on the island. 4 years old, it is.
No, thank you. I'm looking for someone, but the place seems to be empty.
Oh, who are you looking for?
Jake Finch.
Jake Finch. What do you want with him?
I've got business with him.
Eh? What kind of business? He inherited $1 million or something?
No. But I want to settle a debt with him.
Okay, mister. He's in the back room. This way. There he is.
That old bum?
Yeah. Sleeping it off. Been there since I closed up last night.
Jake Finch? This can't be Jake Finch.
Yes, one of them. There's more down on the beach, kicking around town.
What are you talking about?
There's at least a dozen Jake Finches here on Pelota.
A dozen?
Hey, look, somebody's been kidding you, mister. Don't you know? Jake Finch is the name we give any rum bum here on Pelota. They spend their last penny here in the bar and sleep it off on the beach. Drink, mister. All the Jake Finches drink themselves to death.
Jake Finch. Me. All along, the Jake Finch he wanted to kill was in me.
Hey, where you going?
I've got an apology to make.
You look like you need a drink. How about one for the road, huh?
No, thanks. I don't drink.
There it is, John. That's my letter from Jason. You understand now, don't you, why I'm asking you as my attorney to stop my divorce action immediately. I cabled Jason this morning that I'm waiting for him to come home.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Letter from Jason, adapted by Seeley Glester, Merwin Gerard, and Mr. Robeson, from Sunk by George F. Wirtz. Featured in the cast were Frank Lovejoy as Jason, Will Gear as Jeff, and Kay Brinker as Ellen. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are lying on a small knoll in the prairie west of the Platte River. In a few moments, dawn will herald the attack of the encircling Apaches. An attack of such fury that for you there can be no escape.
Next week, we escape with an exciting tale of the Old West, as James Warner Bella tells it in his thrilling story, Command.
Pardon me, Mr. Lamont. I'd like some information.
Why, it's Gracie Allen.
Can you tell me who that young man was with the wonderful deep voice?
Well, yes, that's Paul Freese.
Well, I'd love to meet him.
That'll be easy. Paul, this is Gracie Allen. Gracie, this is Paul Freese.
Hello, Gracie. Or should I call you Mrs. George Burns?
Well, yes, you should. You see, I've been Mrs. Burns ever since that day when a certain tall, handsome man came along and pronounced George and me man and wife.
I see.
But it's George I've come to talk to you about. You have such a beautiful voice yourself, so I thought if you let him sing on this program, our sponsor will hear him and realize how great he is. Then he'll let him sing on our program Wednesday nights.
Well, Gracie, this is not a musical program. This is Escape.
Well, George can make your program more popular. When he sings, everybody will be looking for Escape.
I'm sorry, Gracie. I'll have to turn you down.
Oh? Well, goodbye, Mr. Freese. You are a cold man.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Be sure to listen next week, same time, when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Nestle's Ever-Ready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk. And Nestle's chocolate bars now present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are on a strange planet 50,000 light years from the solar system. With their ship's water supply exhausted, they're kneeling beside a small lake to fill their canteens.
It's cool, sir. Fairly clear.
Fill the tester first, Hap. The water may be freezing.
Yes, sir. I'm so thirsty I can't... Hey, Commander, what was that?
Drop down, Happy. Someone's shooting at us.
Hey, somebody's coming over the rim of the crater.
Try to draw my radar.
Oh, that was close.
Range, Hap. If you don't stop him, next time he'll get us, sure.
We'll return in just a moment with a thrilling story, The Realm of the Robots. It's hot stuff.
What's hot stuff?
Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa.
Hey, that's hot stuff.
Well, that's what I said. Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa is hot stuff.
Well, what are we arguing about?
I'll have to stop mixing me up. There's no argument about Nestle's Ever-Ready because everybody agrees it makes the most wonderful cup of hot chocolate in the universe.
You said a mouthful, Captain Two-Fell. Nestle's makes such a rich, chocolatey, delicious hot chocolate it's out of this world. And there's no mixing up either, because Nestle's Ever-Ready practically makes itself.
That's right. All you do is put 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of Nestle's Ever-Ready in your cup, add hot water, and it's made.
You don't have to add milk or sugar, because Nestle's is complete.
Yes, Nestle's has rich, whole milk and sugar already in it.
And you know something? What I like best about Nestle's is that sensational Nestle's flavor. There's nothing quite like it. It's real chocolatey, too. A terrific treat any time of day or night.
Glad you mentioned that, Hap, because we always recommended hot chocolate made with Nestle's for a breakfast warm-up. But we also like to see Space Patrollers drink it at all their meals and snacks, too.
Now, what did you say was the name of this product?
Oh, Hap, you're kidding me again. You know it couldn't be anything but Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa.
In the bright red can. That's Nestle's, and it's hot stuff.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Realm of the Robots. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are aboard the Terra 5 on a special mission of exploration to Orion 14, a star 50,000 light years from the solar system. United Planets astronomers believe they've detected traces of a super radioactive element in the spectrum of the remote star. With a hyperspace vector set for Orion 14, Buzz and Happy are now waiting for their ship to emerge from faster-than-light star drive into regular rocket drive.
We're coming out of star drive, Hap. Get ready for our first close-up of Orion 14.
Wow. A ball of white hot fire.
Check the cosmic protective shield.
Right, Commander. No harmful rays are getting through, sir.
Good. Now we'll set up the instruments and run a spectrographic test of the elements on Orion 14.
Mind if I get a drink of water first?
Go ahead and bring me one, Happy.
Yes, sir. Well, just looking at that ball of fire makes me thirsty. Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
The water supply. I forgot to check it before we left.
What do the gauges say?
Port tank, empty. Starboard tank, empty. Reserve tank, bone dry. There isn't enough water aboard for a hummingbird to gargle with.
Oh, how about the canteens and the field equipment locker?
I goofed again, sir. Remember you ordered the entire water system purified, the pipes and tanks cleaned out, and the field canteen sterilized?
Yes, sir.
Well, everything's sterilized, all right. Sterilized and empty. It's all my fault, sir.
Blaming yourself won't solve the problem.
Well, there's only one way to solve it. It's to go back to the solar system. Oh, am I going to take a ribbing for this? 50,000 light years out in space, and I have to go back for a drink of water.
There's a chance we won't have to go back, Hap. There's a planet over there about 10 million DUs away. It may have water on it.
Yes, sir, but if it doesn't have water on it, we're in a worse spot than ever.
It's got an atmosphere, man. You can tell by the way the light from the stars diffused around it. While I change vector, you set up the atmosphere testing equipment.
Decelerating as they approach the strange planet, Buzz scans the surface through the viewscope while Happy prepares to run a test of the atmosphere.
Well, it doesn't look very promising, Hap. Just mountains and desert so far.
Hey, Commander, things are looking up. There's hydrogen in the atmosphere and some oxygen.
The ingredients of water, at least.
Yeah, but the vapor content is awfully low, sir. At least at this altitude.
We'll be sailing close to the surface, Hap. Any trace of poisonous gases?
None so far, sir.
Hap, look over there. What does that look like?
Smoke and rockets. If it isn't a mirage, it's a lake.
A lake, all right. Or else it's the first mirage that ever fooled a viewscope.
Yeah, that's the most beautiful sight I ever saw. As soon as we sit down, I'm going to dive right in and not come up until I've drunk a gallon.
Oh, no, Hap. It's a small pool down inside a crater. Maybe poisonous. In fact, it may not be water at all, as we know. You get the test kit and 2 large canteens.
Yes, sir.
I'll set the ship down as close to the crater as I can.
After landing the ship on the strange planet, Buzz makes another careful sampling of the outside atmosphere before entering the airlock. Trying to conceal his impatience, Happy waits with 2 large, empty canteens strapped over his shoulders.
You're out there, breathable, Happy. We're going to find it very hot and dry.
I've got everything, sir. The test kit, the canteen.
Better fasten this to your belt.
Miniature spacer.
That's a portable translator. For all we know, this planet may be inhabited. It might be considered enemy invaders. They could be caught down there at the lake if a spaceship comes in.
Yeah, that's right. If we hear any signals, we'll know that somebody might be looking for us.
Right. Okay, open the hatch.
Oh, am I thirsty?
Try not to think about it until we test the water. Close the inner hatch. We want to keep the ship's air cool. I'll open the outer hatch.
Oh, like an oven out there.
Let's make it a quick trip down the ladder.
Hey, this is desert, all right. Nothing but dry brush right up to the rim of the crater. It sure looks beautiful, like a mirror.
Yes, but it has no window or outlet. Let's make a test.
Oh, here's the test kit, sir.
You give us a sample, huh?
Yes, sir. Hey, it's cooler than I thought it would be. And fairly clear.
It may be fed by an underground stream. All right, put the cap in the test tube and wait a full minute.
Yes, sir. But believe me, this minute is going to seem like an hour.
Watch indicators, Hap. They'll tell us if it's water and if there's harmful bacteria.
Commander, what was that?
Stop at the ground, Hap. Somebody's shooting at us.
Somebody's coming over the rim of the crater. Down to the left.
I see. I'll try to burn my ray gun.
Oh, that was close. It splashed water in my face.
Next time we'll get her sure. I'll move your gun. Try to get him to talk. If we can tune in the translator correctly, maybe we can get him to listen to reason.
Yes, sir. Commander, this may be the last thing I do, but I'm going to take a drink of water.
Be careful, Hap.
My face is almost in it. And, well, if I'm going to be shot anyway, why should I die thirsty?
Just moisten your mouth.
Okay.
Be easy.
Oh, I couldn't help it. It's wonderful. Sweet, cool water.
Still coming toward us. The Lord is with us.
We're friends. We do not want to harm you.
Keep trying different settings in that translator. I'll try to keep him talking.
Put away your weapon. We're from the United Planets.
Sounds familiar. You understand anything?
No, sir.
I'm afraid I have made a mistake.
I've got it. Setting 97, Commander. We want to be friends. Please put away your weapon.
I am sorry I shot at you. I thought at first you were of the ARG.
Oh, we're from a far distant world. We stopped here for water.
So there are other worlds with human beings. I knew it. That's what I kept telling Anila. The ARG may be watching. For your own safety, slake your thirst and leave Goodbye.
What's this ARG? Are they after you?
The ARG are the aberration rectifier group.
Huh? Commander, I think my translator's out of order.
Aberration is an error. Deviation from sense. Exactly. And the function of the ARG is to detect these aberrations correctly. I knew you weren't from the ARG when I saw you drink from the lake.
You mean the lake is poison or something?
No, no. But the ARG do not drink water. They do not need water or food.
What kind of human beings are they?
They are not human beings. They're robots. Mechanical creations in the shape of human beings.
Well, if I'm not getting too personal, what are they after you for? You seem like a nice sort of guy.
The Z-type ARG are after me because, well, I don't like to conform. I like to invent new ways to do my work. I like to wander through the city as I choose.
This makes you an
aberration? Yes. So the robots of the aberration rectifier group automatically follow me. I couldn't stand it any longer, so I ran away from the city. But I'm sure the VRRG isn't far behind. What's your name?
Mona. You haven't committed a crime, have you?
Crime?
Have you hurt anyone? You've taken something that belonged to another human being.
No. I'm being hunted because I do not follow the exact life pattern that the robots have directed.
You mean most people on this planet obey the robots?
Yes, all but a very few. Most of the aberrationists are brought back into the line by the ARG.
Imagine being bossed by a bunch of Zards.
Zards?
Yeah, Z-A-R-G, Zards.
Mono, reckon you'd go to be safe from the Zards, Happy Thompson.
I'm on my way. You must go quickly. Get to your ship.
What's the matter?
The robot has seen us. Look, he's coming toward us on the south end of the rim.
Come with us, Mono.
No. The robot is after me. If you run to your ship immediately, it will not harm you.
What'll it do if it catches you?
Make me helpless with the immobilizer.
You've got a weapon, the one you fired at us.
It's useless. I used the last shot shooting at you.
Then come on. Maybe we can get over to the rim before the robot can stop us. Let's go. Come on, Hap.
The robot's going farther down the rim of the crater.
We'll have to run faster. The robots are very swift.
It sure looks like a human being.
You'll know the difference if he gets close now.
We're not going to get close if we can help it. There's the ship.
It's going to be tough running through that brush.
It'll be tough on the robot, too.
He's getting closer. Hey, what's that?
I don't know. A new weapon, I guess.
The brush is on fire.
Smoking rockets, there's a wall of flame between us and the ship.
The robot's got a heat ray.
The Zard's closing in on us. We're trapped.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Say, Captain Bluefell, I just got my rocket cockpit. And boy, is it super.
You said it, Tony. The model of Commander Corey's XRC is the greatest thing we've ever offered Space Patrollers.
Let me tell about it, will you?
Sure, go ahead.
Gang, the rocket cockpit is a real scale model of the actual Space Patrol project, Infinity. It's more than a foot high, almost 2 feet wide. It's brightly colored, metal studded. It has moving parts, just like the real thing. You send and receive secret messages with the master code. They'll teach you a language only Space Patrollers can know. Fire the powerful atomic cannons. They're real secret. You govern the rocket mechanism with special gravity control handles. You set the special time computers to star drive. It takes you into the future century. Travels more than 100,000 miles an hour. Look through the big moving view scope. You see all the planets and their names, too. How would you like that?
Tony, it's my guess they'll like it fine. In fact, we hope that every single Space Patroller will send for a rocket cockpit for his very own.
Having a rocket cockpit is almost as good as having a real rocket ship, all your own. So get yours. It's real easy. Just send your name and address and 25 cents in coins, plus 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri.
But, gang, send today so you'll be ready to receive Commander Corey's secret messages. That's your name and address and 25 cents in coin, plus 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to today's Space Patrol adventure, The Realm of the Robots. Buzz and Happy have landed on a strange planet near Orion 14 to obtain water. They were fired upon by an inhabitant of the planet who later explained he thought they were robots. The Space Patrollers soon learned that the planet, though bionic, is controlled by robots who keep the human population under constant surveillance. Suddenly, one of the human-like robots appears. Deciding to save their new friend Mono from capture by the mechanical men, Buzz and Happy race toward their spaceship. As they run through the dry brush, they suddenly find themselves facing a wall of flame.
Commander, we're cut off, and here comes the robot.
Wants to take us alive, or it would have used that flame ray on us.
A few more steps and we'll be helpless.
With the immobilizer ray, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, look, over there to the left. The flames aren't very thick. Shield your faces and run through the fire.
Sure, then the robot can't see us.
They can see through smoke.
No time to argue. If we break through the flame, we'll split up. We can confuse the robot. Maybe either Happy or I can reach the ship and get some weapons. Come on.
Stop. We're ordered to halt in the name of the robotic control system.
The robot's got quite a set of pipes. Spread out. You can only chase one of us.
Stop. You are ordered to halt in the name of the robotic control system.
Go on, Mono. Up the ladder into the ship. Yes.
Halt. You cannot escape the ARG.
Commander, the robot's after your friend. Run for the ship, Happy. Hurry.
Commander, wait for me.
Mono, that robot is made of metal, isn't it? Yes. You stay here at the hatch and help Happy aboard. I'm going forward and throw on the magnetic repeller ray.
You are nearly within range of the immobilizer ray. Halt at once. Somebody get a blaster, quick.
Hurry, Happy. Up the ladder. Give me your hand.
You have been warned.
Come on, Happy. Oh, thanks, Mono. Let's close this hatch, quick. The robots are behind me.
The robot is now some distance away.
Smoking rockets, what happened? Lying on its back, 200 yards out there in the brush.
It suddenly flew backwards, as though hit by a strong wind.
I used the magnetic repeller ray, Happy. Knocked the metal robot for a loop, but couldn't attack you.
Oh, thanks, Commander. I thought I was finished for sure.
Let's close the hatch and blast off before the Zog gets himself back into gear.
Yes, sir.
Up forward, everybody.
Oh, while we were talking to Mono, I'd partly filled his canteen.
I can't get over it. Human beings mastering a robot. Remarkable.
Remarkable nothing. That's the way it should be.
All right, stand by for blast off.
Standing by, sir.
Close ports.
Close ports.
Fire jets.
Fire jets.
Up, chipping away. All right, Mono. Where can we take you?
You mean you direct this ship just as you like? You can go anywhere you want?
Well, just about. Anywhere within the limits of the ship's power.
Amazing and wonderful.
Do you have space travel here in Gobonic?
Yes, there are spaceships. But I never heard of human beings traveling in them. They blast off at intervals full of cargo and then return empty to our city spaceport.
Where do they go?
I don't know. It's been going on for generations.
Wait, somebody must have charge of the robots. Don't you have a government, or at least a ruling class?
The robots are the ruling class.
How did they get to be? Who built the robots in the first place?
Nobody knows. In fact, very few human beings ever wonder about it. If they do not speak their thoughts aloud.
Or the Zards get them, is that it? Like the robot that was after us?
Yes. Few human beings have escaped from the cities. They live in groups of 4 or 5 on small farms. I was on my way to one of those farms when I saw you.
Tell us where it is and we'll take you there.
That's very kind of you.
I can't see how people would let themselves get in that position. Unless they gave you a lot to eat and a lot of luxuries.
No, that's not the case. We're given only enough food to enable us to do the required work. There are no luxuries except for the administrators.
The administrators? Who are they?
A few highly skilled engineers who attend to the needs of the robot mechanism. The administrators replace defective parts in the computers.
I see. The administrators get extra food and luxuries, so they're satisfied to keep the robots in control.
That is right, Commander.
Sometime in the past, living, intelligent beings must have put those robots in charge of the planet.
Yeah, and once the system got rolling... Commander, look. The starboard viewscope.
A spaceship. Oh, no. Is that one of your Gobanic ships?
Yes. They blast off from the city at regular intervals.
Do they have human pilots, or are they robot-controlled?
I'm not sure. I think they're robot-operated. Well, with a human being at the controls, it might be too much temptation.
To escape from Gobonic, you mean?
Yes.
I'd like to know where the ship's headed.
Do you know, Mono?
No. But there's no way to obtain information. If it does not directly concern your work, you do not ask questions.
What is your work? I mean, what did you do before you left the city?
I was a feeder in the document reclamation plant.
Huh?
When the records are no longer of any use, they were brought to the reclamation plant. I fed them into a vat where they were dissolved and later made into new paper.
Mono, did you ever examine any of those documents?
Yes. It is forbidden that I have examined some of those documents before I threw them into the vat. I even saved scraps of them.
What did you see in those documents?
The totals of what we produced, how much we had received. Only half of our wealth remains on the bond to be distributed among our people. The rest, well, I don't know where it goes.
If we follow that spaceship, maybe we'll find out.
Already checked its vector, Commander.
Good. The robots rule Gobonic. Now let's see who rules the robot.
Keeping the robot ship in the viewscope, Buzz trails it on its long, curved trajectory over the star Orion 14. Finally, another planet comes into view, and Happy, following the commander's instructions, runs a series of tests on the distant world.
Commander, I've got the periscope focused now. I can see a city on that planet, and the robot ship is coming in for a landing.
Let me look in. It's a big city, all right. But something's wrong. Those buildings are in ruins. There's no sign of activity anywhere.
Then why is the robot ship landing there?
This is incredible. Some horrible disaster struck that city. The buildings are smashed and gutted. The streets are choked with rubble.
Smoke and rockets.
Now, take a good look at those ruins now. What do you see?
A lot of weeds and brambles. And a lot of rubble is covered with something that looks like moss.
A living soul in sight. The city was destroyed years ago, perhaps even a century.
But that robot ship is...
Take a look at the spaceport. The ship has just dumped its cargo. Now it's blasting off. Mono, I want you to see this. Look into the periscope.
Yes, ma'am. The whole area is stacked with supplies, mountains of them.
That's where half the wealth of your planet has been going for generations.
Right here, in the heart of this ruined city, I've never used.
There's another robot ship in the viewscope, sir. Coming in with another cargo, I guess.
Yes, they'll keep coming for another 100 years unless the people of Gobanic overthrow those robots.
Commander, when Mono gets this news back to the people, he'll be a real hero instead of a fugitive.
You don't understand, Happy. The Z-type robots, Zargs as we call them, would silence me before I could speak.
Something sure ought to be done about it.
I can spread the word among those who have already escaped from the city. Perhaps in time we can build up an organization and eventually get the truth to the slaves of the robot.
You want us to take you to that farm you mentioned?
I'd appreciate it, Commander.
All right, Mono. Change back to Hap. We're returning to Gobanic.
More than an hour later, the Terra 5 settles down in a forest clearing on the planet Gobanic. As Buzz opens the outer hatch, he and Happy can see a small log hut set back among the trees.
Oh, Mono, you ought to be safe here.
At least I shall be free. And I can raise enough food for my own needs. There's a small spring behind the hut, so I'll have plenty of water.
That reminds me. One full canteen of water will see us back to our own solar system.
Of course, Commander. If one of you will come with me.
Have you stay here in the ship, check the spacephone frequencies. There's a chance that the robot detectives may have seen our ship.
Yes, sir.
If you pick up anything that sounds like trouble, signal me. I'll set my miniature spacephone to emergency channel 5.
Okay, Commander. Goodbye, Mono, and good luck.
Thank you, Happy. And I hope we'll meet again when we human beings control our own destiny.
You'll conquer those robots, don't worry.
It's certainly nice and cool under these trees. Very peaceful. Wait a minute. Something moving in front of the
Oh, by order of the Gobanic control system.
There's another one.
Having trouble, Commander?
2 Zargs, Hap. Cut on the repeller ray.
Hope you're not out of range. Here goes.
We got one of them, Hap. The repeller ray smashed him against a tree trunk.
How about the other one?
He's still coming toward us.
That's not a robot. It's one of the administrators.
Cut the repeller ray, Hap, and stand by.
Yes, sir.
Stand right where you are. Both of you.
Better do as he says, Commander. The weapon he's holding could destroy both of us in a flash.
That is correct, Mona. I have every right to destroy you right now. You have committed the capital offense of harming the robot.
Mono had nothing to do with it. The robot was smashed by my order.
And who are you?
I'm from another solar system. I don't know anything about your laws here in Gobanic, but I wrecked your robot in self-defense.
Self-defense? Huh! A human being has no right to resist a robot. The robots are the supreme authority of Gobanic.
Yes? Who made them the supreme authority?
That does not matter. Anyone who would question the authority of a robot is an idiot and a criminal.
Mono says you're an administrator. Have you ever questioned a robot's decision?
No, never. I am Roknar, administrator of Class H functions of robot control. To suggest that I, Roknar, would question a robot is an insult.
Roknar, listen.
Silence! In a moment, this weapon in my hand will wipe you off the face of Gobanic.
As though you never existed.
Hap.
Yes, sir?
Full repeller ray, a quick blast.
Commander, the gun is gone.
His metal. The repeller ray whipped it out of his hand. Now, Ropenar.
No, I am an administrator.
Knocked him out.
Is everything all right, Commander?
Yes, Hap. If I fill this canteen, I'm bringing Mono back to the ship.
But Commander...
It isn't safe for you here. And you want to fight the robots, don't you?
Yes, of course.
And come on. Get out of here before Ropenar comes to.
We're almost up to star drive velocity, Commander.
Fine, Hap. Don't look so sad, Mono. You'll be seeing Govanik again soon.
I was thinking of all those people. Generations of them, working endlessly, uselessly for nothing.
You'll find a way to bring them the truth, Mono. As soon as Happy and I report to our government, we'll bring you back to Govanik. An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Hi, Space Patrollers. Commander Corey here. As I promised, I've got a secret message for you. It's the Space Patrol password. Now, write it down. Then turn the right-hand master code dial on your rocket cockpit to each symbol. The actual letters appear in the little window. Now, here goes. E2, L5. That's E2, L5. Second word. N1, O12, L5. T18, E20. Repeat. N1, O12, L5, T18, E20. Now you have the official password. You can have so much more fun with your rocket cockpit. It's equipped with moving stratobiewer, speed controls, secret star drive mechanism, and sensational working atom cannons. Now, don't miss out on all the fun. Write for your rocket cockpit today, before the offer expires. Send your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, along with 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars, to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are walking across the spaceport of a deserted, ruined city on the planet Wormuk. Hap, look up there ahead. You know that big stack of supplies.
It's an opening in the ground.
Was it there a minute ago?
Yes, I don't know. I don't think so. Look, the rockets. Look what's coming out of that hole. It's a giant beetle.
It's a robot tank.
Well, whatever it is, it's a monster. And it's coming toward us.
Get back to the ship, Hap. Hurry.
Hey, Commander, the robot's right behind us.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Watchman of Wormuk. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, Bela Kovac, and Tony Sides. Dick Tufeld speaking. This week's Space Patrol was brought to you by Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk, and famous Nestle's chocolate bars. This program is broadcast for our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.